Whole sports all plays. Yeah. Whole sports all plays. Whole sports all plays. 365, we making up plays. You talking the game, get you through the days. We're high in the court, the dime in the lane. Variety topics living the same. All presentation, sports information. In the airways, taking the nation. All sport, all plays, they working your faces. Grace at the field, so tie the laces. All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. 365, we making up plays. You talking the game, get you through the days. We're high in the court, the dime in the lane. Variety topics living the same. All presentation, sports information. In the airways, taking the nation. All sport, all plays, they working your faces. Grace at the field, so tie the laces. All sports, all plays.
Good morning, everyone. What is going on, everybody? What is going on? We are here for another show, which is ASAP in the morning. I am your host, Darian of the Spotlight Sports Network, aka ASAP Sports Network. I have my guys here, which more fellas will be coming in to the show. And it's Coach Dante, and then we got Trey in the building. What's going on, y'all? How y'all feeling this morning?
What's good,
Coach? What's good, Coach? Another morning of the morning show. Ready to get right into it, man.
Oh, it's gonna be a great show today. There's a lot of topics that we're gonna have to go over. Hopefully, and the last but not least, we finally got him on the morning show.
There you go.
Good Pride.
What's good, Pride? How you doing?
Building, ladies and gentlemen, what is going on?
Your Spotlight, don't be like Freddie on me now. Don't do me like that. I was on vacation last week. Don't start with the
Listen, Freddie knew you was on vacation. I didn't know. That's why I said, like, because this is my first time seeing you on ASAP in the morning. So it's like, yeah.
I was on vacation. Don't listen to Fredward. Don't listen to him. I'm
not the Freddie in Spotlight. I'm not doing that, man. I'm not the Freddie in Spotlight. Absolutely not, man. But shout out to everybody that's here, man. Dominique 5, Jay Ness, everybody that's in the comments so far. Shout out to y'all. So let's get straight into it. I want to get straight into it because Monday Night Football. Mm-hmm. Chicago Bears and the Pittsburgh Steelers, right?
Was it that bad? I didn't see the game.
It was bad.
It was horrible.
The officiating was
bad. The officiating was bad.
Yeah.
I heard it got bad towards the end. Like I saw that taunting call where like the ref hip checked him. I was like,
it was some calls before that on the same person that they flagged. And then we got Mr. OU himself.
Is that Bishop?
OU bias in the building.
No, man, y'all been trying. Y'all trying to keep me out of here.
Hold on. Was there any OU players that played last night?
Played last night for the
team?
Anyone? No.
Okay. So we could believe anything you say today.
I'm already mad because I've been.
Oh Lord, here we go. We have Mr. Delusional, aka Freddie A. Smith, aka
I've been backstage.
Aaron Rodgers burner account. Good morning, Freddie. Good morning.
Good morning, everybody. How are you guys doing?
What's good,
What's up, man? Man? I've been backstage for 10 minutes, and I see they on live, and I ain't never get put in.
You here now, fam? Let's get it.
Hey, I'm not gonna be on the show today. I just had to come on and ask a few questions to the set because you guys are the smartest crew in the morning. I won't watch First Take. I won't watch Undisputed. I won't watch First Thing First. I'm watching ASAP in the morning. But
let's go.
We got the best crew in the house.
So I have a feeling this is going to end up going to. So is Aaron Rodgers the best? Like, no, it's
not. The media made it seem like my dude Melo was washed. The media made it look like Melo was done.
Talk to me, Freddie.
They said this man can't even be the 10th man on the bench.
But then you said all that because you got to win last night. That's why you mentioned that. You didn't say no when they lost to OKC.
You know that.
You didn't say You didn't say none of that.
Talk to him.
But didn't he just drop 7 threes last night that helped the Lakers win?
Man, Melo been playing balling, man. Melo been balling. He's been balling on that Lakers team. He's been playing ball. He's been playing ball.
It's not Carmelo that's the issue. It's Westbrook that's the issue.
Hey, he had a triple-double last night. He didn't play too bad. I'm not going to jump on him yet. But I just needed to come talk to some professionals that know sports this morning and ask that question.
It's coming.
It's coming. NBA first. Get out the way. Since we want to talk about the Lakers right now. Let's
start off, Coach. Let's start out with that. Let's start out with that.
No, let's not talk about them bum ass Lakers, man. No, this is why I don't want to talk about the Lakers because didn't nobody want to talk about the Lakers yesterday or on Friday.
I spoke
on the other day when they lost. Now when they win.
I do not run from it.
Hey, Bishop, I'm with you on that, Bishop. Hey, Bishop, I'm with you on that one. They didn't want to talk about it for the last couple of days. They didn't want to talk about it for the last couple of days.
Hold on. Order in the court. Jesus, order in the court.
Hold on, Spot. Didn't Trey on Friday or yesterday ignore the fact?
I spoke yesterday.
No, don't you
I
say
spoke
that.
yesterday.
You went to the last second of the show on Friday. Oh, man, we got to get up out of here. Oh, you know I did.
Friday, we ran out of time.
Get out of here.
But
Freddie left before we even started talking about the Lakers yesterday. Freddie left. He left the scene yesterday before we started talking about the Lakers. He left the scene yesterday.
So, Spotlight, 2 things. One, I'm never going to miss another morning ever again in my life. I missed something and everything went left. And 2, somebody here going to have to fill me in, bro, because, like I don't know what I miss,
Oh yeah, it goes down on ASAP in the morning.
Friday.
Do not let them pull the veil over your. Do not let them pull the veil over your eyes. Pride. Do not let them pull the veil over your eyes.
Don't listen to Trey. That's like listening to Freddie. That's Freddie 2.0. Don't listen to Trey. That's Freddie 2.0.
Bishop, I gotta ask a question. Hold on, you guys. Hold on, I gotta ask a question. Bishop, who's your NBA team?
The Brooklyn Nets.
The Nets.
Oh, did they win last night?
Hold on. You said the Knicks?
The Nets.
Oh, the Nets. Oh, okay.
The Nets.
Did they win last night?
What up, Jay? No, they did not.
But okay.
I ain't gonna be like you and Trey and be afraid to talk about it. Like you two, y'all try to ignore.
We talked about it yesterday.
I'm never afraid.
Conversation yesterday.
Trey was yesterday. Oh, it's too early. We can't tell about.
I Freddie left yesterday.
It's still too early, Trey. It's still too early.
Freddie left off the scene yesterday.
I'm never afraid. Y'all know that. Don't do that. Don't do that.
Uh-oh.
Anybody afraid? I know somebody is afraid, but I'm not gonna call no names.
Listen, we gonna talk about these Lakers right now. We will get it out the way.
Let's go.
So Freddie could go to work and he can leave us alone. That's exactly what that is. Freddie can go to work and leave us alone.
I'll take a lunch break early.
Yeah, because you never know. Even though he might not leave us alone because he might get in his car and be like, "Let me school y'all on something." We got to see. He got his seatbelt buckled in. He's locked in. When he comes with us. But it was a good game last night. It wasn't a walk in the park game for the Los Angeles Lakers, and it was 126-123 in overtime. So Terry Rozier did have a high of 29. He was 11 of 22 and 4 from 4 for the 3-point line. I mean, you're not going to be mad at that from Terry Rozier against a Lakers team. Absolutely not. Hayward had all 5 players for the Hornets was a double figures here. Hayward 21, Bridges 19, Plumlee 13, Ball 25, and Rozier with 29. The Lakers. This is why I said what I said about Bazemore. He should never be in the starting lineup. Please get your starters back because there's no way that Bazemore plays 14 minutes and had 0 points.
That's unacceptable.
Anthony Davis played phenomenal.
To be a starter.
Anthony Davis played phenomenal with 32 points.
Say it louder. I
said Anthony Davis played phenomenal.
Okay, that's what I wanted to hear.
You can't be mad at that with 44 minutes. He was 13 of 25, 12 rebounds, 4 assists, 32 points. You can't be mad at that from AD.
Nope.
Then
That's an AD night. That's an AD night.
Even DeAndre Jordan played better than freaking Bazemore, bro. When do DeAndre Jordan ever have 10 points in a game?
But here's the thing about
come on, man.
I get your point about Kent Bazemore, about him starting not being. But he's also like he's a typical shooter, right? He's gonna be hot and he's gonna be cold. So there's gonna be times where he's gonna give you donuts, and it's kind of like JR, right? Like
I think Carmelo could have started over him, though. Come on now.
He's your defense.
Personally, I like that. I think you keep Carmelo Anthony as the 6-man
on the bench.
Perfect where he's at.
That's the perfect thing for him because when he comes,
because you got to think about it like this. You got to think about it like this. With the starters the Lakers have, everyone that's on this floor is a scorer. When they come off the floor,
not everybody.
You need everybody on that score is who's not.
Bazemore,
Avery
Bazemore is your DeAndre Jordan. They not scorers.
Hold on.
They're role players. They're not scorers.
You can be hot.
Bazemore,
that's all. But he's thinking
Bazemore
Avery Bradley,
Bazemore is your typical.
Yep.
Bazemore is your typical 3-and-D guy. Yep. Okay, he's the typical 3-and-D guy for every championship team you've seen. Yep. Every one. He's your typical 3-and-D guy. So when I say a scorer for for Bazemore in his light, he's the guy in the corner waiting for the ball after the double team's drawn by the actual scorer. You know, whoever that might be.
He's a 3-and-D guy.
He's definitely, but he's going to drop 12. He's going to drop 12, 15 points on that starting lineup. He's going to drop that just by
he haven't done that yet.
He hasn't done it yet.
I understand he hasn't done it yet, but to Jay's point, in that starting lineup, he still has that potential. I mean, I'm just throwing it out there.
And not only that, Bazemore, it ain't even the fact that he had 0 points. He had no productivity. He had 2 defensive rebounds. He had zeros. He had no stats.
No stats. We can't be on the floor that many minutes and contribute.
I understand that. Let's not lose sight of the fact the main focus is for him to come on the floor and hold up a position. Like, okay, he didn't produce. Obviously, you want someone to produce when they're on the floor, but that's what he's there for, to sit up and be a able body that can possibly do something. Let's not take care of the fact.
But my question is this, though: if Carmelo would have scored 29 as a starter, would this game would have been even close? Probably not.
But here's my rebuttal.
Thank you.
So if that happens, you have other people that's on the floor. Like I know someone hit up yesterday on the show. We left before they talked about Austin Reeves, who got yesterday. He was on the floor. He scored 8 points, 1 assist, 1 rebound. Let's not miss the fact of Rajon Rondo. He didn't score any points yesterday, but he had a productive 8 assists. So it's other people that's on the squad that is there to produce.
Hold on, Trey. You gonna say that's productive because he had 8 assists and no points? That's not really productive.
But that's Rondo.
But that's Rondo. Yes, he is, because what happened is that means he got the ball to somebody that scored. That's what that's 16.
Yeah, I can't knock Rondo. Rondo come off the bench. That's typical Rondo right there. Getting teammates the ball. That's typical Rondo right there. That's like that's off the bench. Like Bazemore is starting and not contributing.
The only reason Rondo is starting is because the reason is injured. That's the only reason.
Trayvon, check this out. Let the Lakers in the room talk. When THT come back this upcoming week, Bazemore on the bench. I guarantee you. Bookie, he's coming off the bench.
Let me add this. We all agree. Hold on.
THT, the goal for him for this beginning of the year, they wanted him to be that lockdown defender. They wanted him to be what Bazemore is. But THT can create his own shot. He can score as well.
But you don't need that in the starting lineup no more. But you don't need that in the starting lineup. That's why Carmelo's so good. Hold on. That's why Carmelo's so good on the bench. And listen, I'm going to add this. If you look at that box score, we all agreed that he's a 3-and-D guy. How many 3-point shots did he take?
1.
Thank you. So you're not getting he wasn't there in that game to get those shots off. He was there in that game to play the defense, to play the role that he was set up for that game. The other thing is you guys get no. There's no no. There is no no. There is no no.
As a basketball player, you really got to be one way or two-way player. And I just feel like last night the Lakers played 4-on-5. I'm being honest. It was 4-on-5. But the game was so close. Bazemore was not contribute something. We're not asking for 17 points, 18 points. We asked for 8-9 points. That's not hard contributing.
But here's the thing. Hold on. Here's the thing. You got a tool bag when you go to your job site. You don't use every single tool on every single job site, but you bring that bag to every single job site. And that's the thing that you got to. That's the thing that you got to look at.
Yep.
That's the thing you got to look at.
The only reason why he's in the starting line is because of injuries. It wasn't for injuries.
And we know that.
Bazemore was not our starting five. He was not.
So you say THT?
You got THT, you got Trevor Ariza. Hey, you got more options that you can put in there. You can put a Wayne
Trevor Ariza over Bazemore?
Yes, Trevor Ariza over Bazemore.
Yep, I would do it. Hell yeah, I would do it.
I can see that.
I wouldn't mind that.
Hell yeah, I would do that. Hell yeah, I'll do that in a heartbeat. If he's healthy, hell yeah, I'll put Trevor Ariza in a heartbeat in that lineup.
Don't do that, Jesse. Don't do that.
He's healthy.
I can see Trevor Ariza
was one of the top defenders in this league.
Yeah.
And he won a championship with the Lakers.
No.
And he can
I ain't
score.
talking about. Listen, I ain't talking about old school Trevor Ariza.
Right, you talking about
I'm not talking.
Trevor Ariza.
He did it last year. He did it with the Rockets. He did it recently. He did it recently. This is not old.
Disrespectful, Jay. Don't be disrespectful.
Yeah, don't be disrespectful to Trevor Ariza.
Don't bring up the Rockets run. Don't bring up the Rockets run. He played power forward on a tweener team that had a small lineup. He played power forward.
Robert Covington played power forward. He didn't play power forward. Robert Covington played power forward. He didn't
started
play
at power forward.
No, he did not.
Covington and him switched on and off.
Robert Covington was the actual power forward. Robert Covington was the power forward. Robert Covington was basically the center. PJ Tucker was the 4. Ariza was the 3.
Right.
What you say? Basically the
center. But real quick, going into that conversation though, even though technically Ariza was the 3, they kind of switched it up a lot. Like where it kind of was like, oh yeah, like Ariza could basically guard the 3 and the 4 and sometimes the 5. Same with Covington, same with Tucker. So even though they called them the 3, they kind of left them out there because they kind of had an A, gave them a position, and B, when it came to like the switches, they didn't really mind because it's like we all know these 3 guys can keep up with those 3 positions. So
and let's be real. Let's be real. Bazemore is a younger Trevor Ariza. That's all he is.
No.
What Trevor Ariza turned into after LA is what Bazemore is currently. He's just a younger version, bro. He's not. Once Trevor lost that major athleticism as far as going to the hole, finishing around the rim, things like that, Trevor Ariza turned into a 3-and-D guy that stayed around the perimeter. The only thing that Trevor
Bazemore.
What's the difference? Tell me.
Trevor Ariza can make shots. Trevor Ariza can actually make shots.
No more.
Let me get in here real quick. I just want to make sure I'm understanding you, Jay. What you're saying is the way Trevor Ariza plays is comparable to how Kent Bazemore plays. I want to make sure I'm getting. Or are you trying to make Kent Bazemore is better than Trevor Ariza right now?
No. I'm saying post LA, post young Trevor Ariza legs, post young Trevor Ariza knees. Trevor Ariza turned into a 3-and-D guy that hung around the perimeter and he plays superior defense. I will give him that. He's always kept up on the defensive end. But Trevor Ariza has adapted to a 3-and-D perimeter player. He does not create his own shot anymore. I don't even know if he's still capable of doing the way he used to do. And if you look at Bazemore, it's the same identical player. He's a 3-and-D guy that hangs around the perimeter. Thank you. He doesn't use his athleticism to go to the hole.
He's not asked to. He's not asked to.
But here's my point.
Right, but Jay, here's my rebuttal to it. You don't need Trevor Ariza to be the Rockets Trevor Ariza or even the Lakers Trevor Ariza.
No,
you just need to be better than Kent Bazemore. That's it. And
but let's be honest. But let's be honest. The only thing that you're really going to get one up by putting him at that position is going to get better defense. You're not going to get a better shooter.
But
Bazemore is.
Yes, you are.
No,
yes, you are. You're going to get a better. Yes, you are. Yes, you are.
There'll be times where
yes, you are.
Bazemore sitting there wide open, brick. I watch him like, bro, what are you doing? Like, he's like, what are you doing?
Look, Jay, hold on. I'll agree with you just for the conversation's sake.
Oh, here Jay need his backup like he always.
I don't need no backup. Leave me on the island, boy. Call me Revis.
But let's just say for argument's sake that offensively they're washed. Defensively,
I give you that.
I still think that Ariza
I give you that.
Is what I mean. So it's like we can't really say, when Ariza comes back, Kent Bazemore still going to be the starter because let's for the sake of this argument,
he should be. What I say is he should be, because to me, now you put Ariza on the bench with Melo, and now Melo has that other veteran presence that can knock down the shot, has been in big moments, and can play defense with them.
He can't, Jay, because you got to factor. You got to bring in THT off the bench. You got to figure. You got too many bodies. You have Wayne Ellington.
No, hold on. THT goes.
You got THT. Even if TH doesn't start, he comes off the bench. TH, Melo, and Ariza. What's wrong with them three being on the floor at the same time?
What center you gonna
I'd rather have Ariza in the starting lineup.
Dwight Howard.
Okay, well, who's gonna be the point guard? There was not gonna be a fit there.
Rondo.
Jay. No, you got Kendrick Nunn.
Yes.
Where's Kendrick Nunn going? Where's Kendrick Nunn going to come in?
Kendrick Nunn is not in this 10-man rotation, period. He doesn't make the 10-man rotation. No way, ifs, ands, or buts.
What? Stop it.
He doesn't make it.
Freddie, I'll be honest with you. With everyone coming back, I think the first person who's going to lose minutes is going to be Kendrick Nunn. I think he's going to be
I don't know if Nunn sees the floor for about 2 months. If the
last night they had an 11-man rotation. So I don't know what that's going to say when Ariza comes back, when THC comes back. So I mean, it's all subjective. Last night they had a 11-man rotation. You had Bradley play 24 minutes. Yep. The least amount of minutes played last night was DeAndre Jordan at 11 minutes. Everyone else was 15 minutes above. And Rondo had 12. Yeah,
I think Bradley and Rondo going to lose the play minutes. We see there's nights Rondo
ain't losing no minutes.
No, Jay, there's nights that a lot of times Rondo have not played a lot this season. He's going to be the guy.
It depends on the game.
And Frank Vogel
depends on probably the situation. When you need it, it depends. Like in a playoff scenario, Rondo
ain't losing minutes. You
won't lose the minutes in a playoff scenario.
What I foresee happening is that a lot of people are going to end up getting minutes, like i.e. Monk and Bradley and who else was I seeing?
Reeves,
Ariza and Bazemore is going to be basically based on defense and what is going to be defensive matchups. That's what's going to determine the minutes down the stretch.
And Freddie, I'll give you this because I'm not taking anything from Ariza, so don't misconstrue what I'm saying. But I'm thinking that it's going to be matchup. It's going to be matchup precedent, meaning if we got a small forward that's wiry and running around the floor, they're going to start Bazemore. If we got a small forward that's a little bit more big, a little bit more posty, we're going to start Ariza. And it's simple as that. And you're not losing anything on the offensive end. Neither one of them are going to have. Hold on.
No,
neither one of them.
Hold on. He going to knock it down.
Hold on. We also have seen Trevor Ariza go cold from three as well.
Thank you. They're both 3-and-D guys that have hot streaks.
That's it. That's because my thing is we can't just look at this one game for Kent Bazemore.
No, it's not one game. It's not one game.
The other night he played 19 minutes, only 2 points. Only 2 points the other night. In 20-some minutes. 29 minutes.
So those type of stats is what's going to get him sent to the bench. That's just what it is. Those type of stats for Bazemore is going to get him sent to the bench once other capable players come back. Right now, for the role in which he plays, he's the most capable player. So that's just what it is currently.
And of course, when Ariza gets back, obviously, I believe he should be put in the starting lineup because I do believe that right now Trevor Ariza is better. I'm just saying, for a 3-and-D guy, they hit their highs and they hit their lows, i.e. like the best example I could come up with when LeBron was in Cleveland the second time around and he had JR. There was JR would go like a week where all of a sudden this guy looked like he was better than Steph Curry. And then he would go 2 weeks looking like he should be serving Curry. That's just kind of how shooters are. They're kind of high and low. So that's kind of where I put Kent Bazemore. But I'm with you, Freddie. When Trevor Ariza comes back, either he should be in the starting lineup or THT. What I mean?
But listen, when Trevor Ariza comes back, guys, what I'm saying is you're still going to see about 5 to 8 points from Trevor Ariza. We're not going to come. I don't know where you guys are coming with this whole thing that you're going to gain a whole bunch of offense.
The thing is, Jay.
But
the thing is, Jay, you're a Suns fan. Jay, you're a Suns fan. You have Jay Crowder out there. You have him on the 3 with Chris Paul go.
That's a perfect one to pick. Thank you.
When you collapse the defense, when you give him the 3, what's more likely going to happen? Is he going to brick it or is he going to make it?
Right now, brick it. And that's being honest. That's the thing you're not understanding. Hold on. That's the thing you're not understanding. I'll take that perfect comparison. Cam Johnson, and Jay Crowder. Jay Crowder starting, Cam Johnson's on the bench. Cam Johnson's way better offensively. Jay Crowder gives us a lot of dynamics on the defense.
Yeah.
Yes.
Cam Johnson is a beast. He's the beast offensively. Yes.
And he can handle the ball. And he can create his own shot.
Yeah.
But the thing is that Jay Crowder brings something on the defensive end because of the ability to cover multiple positions and cover guys bigger than him that we can't take him out the starting.
You agree Trevor Reese brings better defense.
Gives you, which is why he should
I actually
you just walked into your trap.
No. I told you in the beginning. I think dynamically, Bazemore is a better fit because his legs are younger. He's able to run up and down the floor.
You're not being consistent, Jay. You're not being consistent. You just said this. Now you're saying this, Jay.
What did I say? What did I say earlier?
You said,
what did I say? I said Bazemore is a younger version of Trevor Reese.
No, I will say this in Jay's defense. He's not really being inconsistent. Like he is saying. He's kind of not, because what he's saying is he's going, and Jay, if I'm wrong, let me know. He's going with Bazemore because he's younger. Therefore, you can kind of have him out there longer than with a Trevor Reese, who at this point of his career, you might have to consider at the minimum putting him on a minutes restriction. Is that the route you're going, Jay?
Why?
Well, not just the minute
age matter.
Not just wait, don't get me into that.
I'm tired
not just the minute restriction, but just on the simple fact that Bazemore's out there, he's gonna give you the same as far as offensive end. Trevor Reese is a little bit more on-ball defender, better, and a little bit more low post. But I give Bazemore for the length of the game. He's gonna give you way more better minutes, and the points is not where you want. That? You're not looking for points at this position on that team. Period.
I mean, hold on. I do agree you're not really looking for points, but
you're just looking for him to hit that shot when he's open.
But you do need something though.
Yes, that's what we're saying. You do need something.
3 to 5
you do need him to knock down a shot when you expect him to knock down a shot in certain situations. You do need that.
And not hitting and not producing.
Yes, not hitting nothing wide open.
Let's also keep in mind this is conversation at this point. Let's keep in mind we didn't know the situations in the 14 minutes. It might be 14 minutes in which the ball didn't come his way, where he was caught up in the car. Where it's 14 minutes now. We talking about
he only got 4 shots,
27 minutes. Like saying that would be something completely different. So at this point, it's just conversation. It's just bro. It's just it is. It's 14 minutes. It's a 48-minute game. Like, come on now.
But to Jay's point, Kent Bazemore, and I don't even think this is really hot take. Kent Bazemore has always been a rhythm guy. So if you only giving the guy 4 shots, granted, I'm not saying go out and give him 7, 8, 9, 10, because we all know that's not a position that you need the buckets in or whatever.
You need those shots, yeah.
Yeah, if you're only giving the guy 4 shots, you're kind of not really giving him enough.
That's like one shot every 3 minutes almost.
Hey,
and you're not expecting him to drop points like that.
Hey, I expect you when you wide open. I expect you to knock down the
wide open.
I agree with those instances.
Wide open.
You need to knock down the shot.
One shot can't make one shot wide open.
Let's be honest. Everybody on this panel knows if you give Bazemore those shots, he's going to end up knocking them down. Period.
No, we don't know that.
We've seen it.
No, we don't know that. No, we don't. No, we have not seen it. What games have you been watching? Is it the LeBron effect? What games have you been watching?
All of a sudden he plays with LeBron, he don't know how to play basketball?
I mean, I don't know. No, I think it's that Westbrook effect.
Now it's the Westbrook effect. Now you got an extra excuse.
I want to say 2 things. I can even see Wayne Ellington get in that starting spot once you get a bit more rhythm, once you get more playing.
And I'm not arguing that at all.
Yeah,
I'm not arguing that at all.
Two, Frank Vogel is one thing. Even when these players get back, he's gonna have to find playing time for Austin Reeves. He didn't clearly took that Alex Caruso role. That tough nose, that do whatever it takes for the team.
That quirky
always
hustling.
Nah, that's my goal.
Hey, I have a question for everybody. So we seen Nikola Jokic now in 2 instances just snap in the playoffs. Wait. Hold on. In the playoffs with Devin Booker, he snapped. Now, here's the thing I'll tell you that's scary about the Nikola Jokic snapping, because he catches himself. And that's the part that's kind of scary to me, because he completely snaps and then he catches himself let me go sit my butt down. But last night, That tackle.
Shove? Yeah.
No, that wasn't a shove. That wasn't a shove. That was a tackle, y'all. That was a middle linebacker hitting the running back in the backfield, and he was running a power, and the fullback fell over. You know what I'm saying? There was no lead blocker, and he got blown up. And the Morris twins are known for being brutes.
Yep.
So for Jokic to lay him out and he have trouble getting up, who would win in the fight? The Jokic brothers or the Morris twins?
Look, man, look, man.
I've been deployed to Serbia.
Yeah,
What'd you say, Trey? What'd you say?
I've been deployed to Serbia or in the Kosovo area, and you usually you don't mess with Serbs. So you know what I'm saying. I have a big person of everyone's a gangster to a real gangster walking the room.
Yeah, I would say
okay,
this,
I dig that. What's going on, Doug?
What's going on, Doug? What's up,
Mike? Come in here with that nonsense, Mike.
All right, Pride. What'd you say?
I will say this: like, we gotta understand why he did that, right? Like, for years, because people have been
tell me,
like, they kind of just been disrespecting him, and they kind of just been like, "Oh, he's just another big dude that we can bully." Like, think about it, bro. Like the Clippers, was really disrespecting him, and he's starting to get tight. And now he's like, "What do I gotta do?" And it's almost like I don't know who it was. I don't know if it's Jamal Murray. I don't know if it's Michael Porter. Could even be the coach. Someone went up to him and said, "Bro, you got to propose with somebody so they get the message."
Yeah.
And listen, for him,
so Pride. Let me add to what you just said, because you know the word around the NBA. Jokic is one of the most dirtiest players in the NBA.
That's
he's always throwing elbows. He's always throwing shoulders. He's always throwing his weight around. The dude doesn't jump. How you think he
just can't jump?
He's always top of rebounds. He makes the spot knows.
But yeah, right. People think he's playing dirty, but it's like that's what every big man who can't jump plays. Like,
I don't know. Dwight Howard can jump, and he still play that way.
Right? Dwight Howard, even though he can jump, that's how he plays. So my thing is like, why are we gonna kill Jokic for playing the same way? Basically, every other center plays to get
No.
Hey Jay, I gotta ask you a question, and I'm about to hop off. Yeah. Do you think he can jump over a phone book?
I don't know, bro. I don't know. Phone? Are we talking about the new phone books or the old school phone books? The ones that used to get dropped off at the doorstep. Oh, the doorstep phone books? I don't know, bro.
Nah,
he might be able to do it. He might be able to jump on it. I don't know if he can jump over it.
I'm gonna tell you this right now.
You guys have the rest of your show.
Yeah, I'm gonna say this real quick. He's jumping over it. But the only reason I'm saying that is because I saw what he did to Morris. I don't want that to happen to me. So he can jump over that phone book easy. He cleaning it easy. I ain't going against Jokic no more, dog.
Bro, I'll go.
Hey,
so
Bishop, I want to hear
what I missed.
Yo, Jokic.
We on the Jokic
topic, bro. 1v2. He put
on the Jokic thing. Hey man, I'm with Trey. I'm with Trey, man. I'm like, like anything, man. When you gangster until you all gangster until somebody really gangster pull up on you and see what you really about. And I feel like Jokic. I feel like he knew what he did last night. He knew his play. He knows, like, if he really wanted to get at him, because Morris had his back to him. So if he really wanted to get at him, he could have got at him. So I'm like this. He knew, and he gave him that shoulder and knock him to the ground. Everybody gonna jump in and stop the whole thing. But if it was back in the day when it was the dirty boys and all them, when them boys threw blows, it wasn't just the shoulder they throwing them hands. It's a different ball game, and I don't think he ready. I don't think he about that life.
Bro,
now to that note, Bishop. Go ahead, Mike.
Oh, bro, y'all ever seen Rocky, bro? Y'all remember when that Siberian motherfucker, bro, kills Apollo and has no problem with it? He's got the beef.
If he dies, he dies.
If he dies, he dies. That's how these people are, bro. That's how, and I'm not trying to speak for all of them, but those athletic type guys from Europe and from around the world, they don't care, bro. Because out there where Luka plays, that's a grown man's league, and they still fight. They're still scrappy. They're still in the 80s. They're still in the 90s. They don't got this soft stuff. So I do disagree with what Joker did, because personally, as a, you know, I know I always say Spotlight can agree with me, but I know he can. You know, when you're from Philly, if you fighting someone and they have their back towards you, Bro, you're a bitch made. Like that's just how
That's
it
what
is. Like,
yes, absolutely.
You don't do
cornball for that.
And now,
yeah.
Bro, we all know if that was
and that's
if that
where
was
we're gonna
the
go.
Detroit
Sander.
Pistons days, you know, Kevin McHale. I mean, not Kevin McHale, but
Isaiah Thomas, Bill Laimbeer, Joe Dumars, all of them.
So I think
pop out.
So I think the reason that for one, I think Morris definitely knew what he did because he ain't just a hard foul. He hit him with a shiver. So
he hit him.
I think secondly, what comes with
man,
that
them boys is 200 plus pounds though.
I think secondly, what comes with that is the simple fact that they thought it was Jokic, like it ain't gonna be no retaliation, and like you're saying, but he's tired of that, like saying like exactly. He tried it, like okay, then saying take this, and so of course the brother gets on and say, oh, in the back you hit bro in the back, noted, okay, you know what I'm saying, but you seen Jokic brothers in the crowd too, like when Jimmy Butler was like, hey, take it to the back, they was like, let's go. So it's like Mike is just saying, that's a whole different mentality, man. Like they're about that life. It probably more so
now. Now does the NBA? Here's a question. Here's a question, real quick.
Don't get it messed up. Now the Morris brothers are from Philly, but it was just a bonehead move. I didn't like what they. I didn't like what they done because they from Philly. I went to high school with them. I didn't like what they did.
Yeah, and
now let me say this though.
I'll let you go real quick. Let me just say this real quick. We also gotta it's funny because the Morris twins have made a reputation of doing stuff like this.
Yeah.
So I think it's a little kind of funny how all of a sudden the twin was like, oh, behind the back, noted. Yo, like that's kind of what you guys have done.
The Morris twins face fire head on. I ain't about to throw they be sneaking. No, and they take the smoke head on. They whiff it in.
They also have done it from behind.
They whiff the smoke. But anyways, my next thing though on this, Jimmy Butler's reaction
afterwards,
was it warranted? Was he supposed to do that? Is he supposed to do that?
No, that gave me flashbacks to when he almost fought TJ Warren. That gave me flashbacks when he was chatting like that. I was like, yo, forget the twins. Let me put Jimmy, but I'm like, yo, let me hit up my boy Dana White because I got a relationship with him. Let me hit him Dana White. Let's just throw this card on the weekend, bro. Because Jokic mad unathletic versus Jimmy Butler who been through life. Like, I don't know, bro. Right. Dude who been through life and a suburban dude. Ooh, that'd be funny.
Doug, let me get your take on this, Doug. We ain't heard nothing from you this morning.
I grew up in an NBA where, Bill Laimbeer was clotheslining people. I grew up in an NBA where Kevin McHale once clotheslined Kurt Rambis.
Say that, Doug.
This is to me. This, if you're willing, and also, when Shaq and Charles Barkley used to fight with each other, before
they still get into it.
And they still get into it. I'm surprised they're not jumping over Kenny Smith and Ernie Johnson. This was commonplace in the NBA. If you're willing to do this kind of thing on the court, and you said the Morris brothers are known for this, and the fact that he turned his back on Joe shows he probably thought in his mind, he ain't gonna do nothing to me. He's joking. Yep. He's just gonna. And you know what? Give Jokic credit. He put his shoulder into it. He put his hips into it.
Yeah.
And he gave him the
like Jay said, it was a tackle. Like Jay said, it was that was a tackle.
But if Jokic didn't play basketball, he could go and play for the Broncos on Sunday. That was a good clean.
Khalil Mack needs to take a look at his form.
Oh my
goodness! Look at Mike.
Shoulder tap. that was good. Granted, that's going to get him like a $50,000 fine and maybe a game suspension. But hey, in the NFL, that would have gotten that was hey, good tackle. Let's go.
And that was a sack strip.
Yeah,
eventually, if you keep getting poked at and poked at and poked at and poked at, eventually you're gonna snap. And
you're going to snap. You're going to break. You're definitely going to get your breaking point.
And eventually, I think Jokic was like, "Screw this." I don't think he cared who it was. It's just like, you turned your back on me too. He was like, "Screw this." You turned your back on me. That was a hard foul. I
get where Jokic is coming from. But remember, you're gonna play these boys again. And we all know the Twins, they do not forget.
The animosity is gonna be there.
He's gonna want his pound of flesh. So Jokic, all I'm saying, bro, you started it, and it's okay. It's okay, but understand something.
That tech coming.
Yo, forget stretching. You want to wrap your hands up. Because the first chance he gets, and not just him, y'all saw how Jimmy Butler was tight. The first chance they get, Jokic, you gotta wear a cup, bro. Because when you try to hold like a layup or something, Jimmy Butler gonna hit you with a hook down low, and it's going. But again,
and with that pride, that right there, when they do meet again, that's gonna show just how hard Jokic it really is. Because when it goes back down, when it goes down again, it's got to go down. It's got to go down for real.
Yeah, because the thing is, even though, and Freddie, you're saying he didn't start it. I get it, but he retaliated. So at this point, instead of letting it die, you're now continuing it, and you can argue you exasperated it. So now it's like, now you can't push the dude, and all of a sudden you get your last shot, and you're like, okay, now we good. It's like, nowadays people don't really want to play
here's the thing, though, too, you guys. And here's the thing, too, and I agree with Doug. I mean, the NBA has turned into a situation where now your emotions are just bottled up. You see the playoffs where you see the emotions bottled up and they don't get it out. And then you see them having bonehead plays. Right. You see them making bonehead decisions versus back when we grew up. You talk about that Miami Heat, New York Knicks in the 90s when PJ Brown, power bombed Charlie Ward on sideline. And, after they got that out, that series was so much better. The basketball play was just so much better because, that those high emotional roller coasters, especially in the playoffs, you got to get that out. You got to get it out. Or it's just gonna fall over because you're not thinking about playing basketball no more at this point. You're thinking about putting your shoulder in Jokic in any chance you get. So you playing sloppy and stuff. So I really think that that was good for Jokic. That was good for Denver. Denver got their butt kicked last year. They had to do it against the Suns, and they're gonna need more of that from Jokic, kind of like what you guys said, because the league is kind of picking on him. They're tired of him putting his weight on them.
January 29th. I'm sorry, November 29th. That's the next time that the Denver Nuggets go to Miami.
I'm gonna say this right now. I don't care about Miami and Detroit, Denver. I don't really care about them till the playoffs. I'm watching this game. I'm watching
November 29th.
I'm watching
November 29th
in Miami. They do the commercials. Like, I'm not missing a second of this game because the thing is, this could pop off at any time.
Over under 3-game suspension from both of them when they meet again.
When they meet again, I say under because Adam Silver, unless you murder somebody, you're not getting the 2-game suspension. So I guarantee it'll be like a slap on the wrist. Like he'll kind of bring them in to the office and be like, "Come on, guys, be cool. Now we're gonna say it's an unpaid suspension, wink, but you guys just go on a vacation." I love Adam Silver though. I love it.
He's the best commissioner of all the leagues.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I love him. I'm just poking fun at him.
Okay, so basically, with all this going on, we still got to get through some of the games that went on Monday night, even with New York and Philadelphia. Shout out to the Knicks beating my Sixers 103-96. Julius Randle with 31 points. Furkan Korkmaz with the game high with 19. Knowing that we didn't have Embiid, we didn't have Tobias Harris due to COVID-19 protocol. So we might be Sixers 6-game losing streak is basically over when it comes to that. The Brooklyn Nets.
Not just only Tobias Harris, but y'all know Embiid is out with the team.
Yeah, I said Joel.
He said both.
Embiid and Tobias Harris is on COVID protocol. Brooklyn Nets went into Chicago. Mike, I know you liking this right here. No, you're liking this guy.
Freddie out, man. Here comes Freddie now.
Hey, real quick, before we move on. Hey guys, before we move on, so the Jokic brothers just tweeted back, and they said, "You should leave this the way it is instead of publicly threaten our brother. Your brother made a dirty play first. If you want to take it a step further, be sure we will be waiting for you." Jokic brothers.
And by the way, when he said we'll be waiting for you, 2 exclamation points. So they about that business right now, bro. Bro.
But at the same time, being a Philadelphia native, the Morris brothers is about that smoke.
They pretty good.
Y'all do not.
I'm not saying that they're scared or anything.
Hey,
like
Sean,
that.
let them know. Y'all do not understand the ramifications that can incur if they go to war with Serbians. We're not talking about Philly. We're not talking about Pennsylvania. We're talking about Serbia.
They got some things. I ain't gonna say, but they probably got some things. I'm just saying.
I'm gonna say this.
I'm from Compton, California, and I'm about that smoke too. But I'm smart. I'm intelligent. And I would pick your battles wisely, and that's a battle I wouldn't.
Yes,
that's one thing about Philly. Battles wisely. That's the problem with Philly.
Yeah, and understand something.
But here's the thing, though.
I'm just telling you, this isn't like Stipe Miocic, who's kind of who was like his ancestry is to the Middle East, to the if I'm not mistaken, I think he's it's somewhere in the Middle East, some shit. He's like through bloodline, he's one of those crazy guys. That's what I refer to them, those crazy mofos, because they wild. But he was born and raised in Cleveland, Ohio. Like, this isn't that. Like, this dude was born and raised and just happened to come here.
Yeah.
Like, he just happened to come here. And I'm pretty sure, like,
but what I will say is, what I will say is, as far as the NBA is concerned, they both picked the one that is with it. So they both got the right one.
Yep.
They both got the right one.
Baby.
Hey, I got a question, you guys.
Lord.
And this goes to Spotlight. Spotlight, I got two questions. You ready for Ben to come back? And number two, we're taking applications to new teams, because I mean, you're gonna be stressed a lot this year, I'm just saying,
I'm fine.
You got your Cowboy Raiders.
I'm not a person that says, "Oh, LeBron's a quitter." I'm not going to say that about Embiid. I'm not going to be saying, "Oh, Embiid's a quitter." One thing about me: win, lose, or draw, I'm going to rock with my team no matter what. I'm not going to call nobody a professional player a quitter like you did. So if we want to talk about
you don't keep it real. You don't keep it real.
I'm loyal.
You don't keep it real. You don't keep it real. You don't keep it real, then, do you?
We're fine without Ben Simmons. We're fine. We're
so
fine.
You don't want to keep it real.
There's nothing to keep it real about. We don't want Ben Simmons. We don't need Ben Simmons. We still 8-3. What are we talking about?
But you lost to the Knicks.
The Knicks is not a bad team.
What, the Knicks are bunk all of a sudden?
Yeah, like you trying to act like the Knicks.
Yeah, you trying to act like the Knicks are scrubs or something, like they are a B team or something.
Listen to what I'm saying.
Everything to say because the Lakers finally won a game.
Yeah,
listen to what I'm saying.
Yeah, let's say the last 2 days. The last 2 days when the Lakers was getting their ass kicked. You didn't say nothing.
Listen what I'm saying. Spotlight's teams just got beat by both New York teams. How about that? You need a new team.
Hold on, Freddie. And the Lakers got beat by OKC
The Knicks is better than the Giants.
They got beat by they lost 20-point leads to OKC twice. And lost to Portland.
I love to hear about we talking about old-ish.
And Freddie, OKC is not the Knicks. OKC is worse than the Knicks. Can y'all agree to that?
Yep.
Oh, not even close. Not even close.
Not even close.
But what have the Lakers done since then? What have the Lakers done since then?
They won one game since then. They won one game. Just one game. One game since then.
Go to sleep.
They won one game.
The Charlotte Hornets, bro. Charlotte Hornets is not
Charlotte Hornets is a good
right now.
Star players with all this acquisition that y'all made, and y'all still struggling. Stop it.
Damn, yo, Spotlight. Yo, Bishop, real quick. Like, you was just talking about Jokic and the Morris. This is like the verbal thing right here. I'm loving it. Keep going back and forth.
I'm not testing this because I ain't afraid. I'm coming to stand.
This is like Bill Laimbeer.
Freddie put the apple in front of you.
Right now, Freddie, where are you?
I'm not on test. I'm coming to stands. I ain't scared.
Right now, as of today, where the Lakers are in the Western Conference? What number y'all are in the Western Conference?
It don't matter.
Y'all number
10?
Number 10.
Number 10 to my Sixers, number 2 or 3 in the Eastern Conference.
I mean, honestly, on Spotlight, you don't even got to go with the seeding. You can just go with the overall record.
From now.
Actually,
let's talk about a month from now.
Without Ben Simmons, when y'all got paid, y'all pay all that money to all.
You miss Ben Simmons. You love him. That's your savior.
Stop it.
That's your savior.
He's not Rocky Balboa.
Until
that's your savior.
Top 5 in rating and top 5 in the conference, there's nothing to talk about.
That's your savior.
There's nothing to talk about right now.
That's your savior.
Can we go to hey Spotlight?
Don't
can we
talk
go
about last week or what the week before? Let's talk about right now.
Can we
right now?
He dangled the carrot.
Get off the Lakers. They're irrelevant right now. The Lakers are irrelevant right now. Can we go?
Brooklyn lost too.
We did.
Brooklyn not even the real team in New York. It's the Knicks.
What?
Go New York, go New York, go.
Hold on. Freddie, you come on, no. You just said we just lost to the Knicks like the Knicks was trash, and now you're going to say, the Knicks is better than the Brooklyn Nets. Which one is it?
No, I said the Knicks is the real. No, I didn't say that. Don't put words in my mouth. I said the Knicks is the real team in New York. I didn't say it was better.
But you just got on my Sixers from losing to the Knicks.
Hold on, real quick. I like what you're doing, Freddie.
They all drinking the Kool-Aid. They all drinking the Kool-Aid.
I'm not drinking the Kool-Aid.
Y'all drinking the Kool-Aid.
Hold on. He's pulling at Aaron Rodgers. If you listen to his words, he's not saying it, but he's saying it at the same time. I was just listening to you, Freddie.
This is what he does.
An implication you're trying to say is that the Knicks is better.
Yeah.
But then when pressed with that, I didn't say that. Listen to my word. So I got your game. I got your game, Fredward.
Freddie's not slick, bro.
You guys don't get rest out there. I'm about to walk into work.
Bro.
Yeah, go ahead, walk into work.
Yeah,
man.
bye.
Go ahead. I got this.
Take the Lakers with you. Go ahead, take the Lakers with you.
We'll see him in 13 minutes when somebody says Beetlejuice, and all of a sudden he's like, "Hey, Aaron Rodgers and the Brooklyn Nets and the New York Knicks are gonna do this."
Yo, I heard if you say Aaron Rodgers in the camera 3 times, Freddie will show up.
Yes,
Don't say it. Don't say it.
It's like Beetlejuice.
Beetlejuice.
And it's not just Freddie; it's Freddie A. Smith.
Yeah,
he just pops up.
Don't say it.
Yeah.
Yo, they are cracking up in the chat. They are cracking up in the chat. But
hey, are we gonna talk about the? Are we gonna spotlight? We got to talk about Steph hitting 50 and almost getting a triple double.
I was going to get to that. I was going to go through that. Even though Chicago beat the Brooklyn Nets, DeMar DeRozan had 28, Kevin Durant had 38.
Yeah.
The Minnesota Timberwolves lose to the Memphis Grizzlies in overtime, 125-118. John Morant with 38. D'Angelo Russell with 30. What a game that
John
was.
Is showing out, bro.
John's a bad man.
Out, bro.
Yeah.
John's a
John
bad
Morant
man.
is a bad man. Right
he's consistent. He's literally a consistent jump shot away from being unstoppable.
Yeah.
Actually being unstoppable.
I'll be honest. I thought going in, I thought Zion was going to be better. And even if Zion was healthy, damn, John Morant would still be making a legitimate game better.
Absolutely.
Every single time, and again, this is coming from a guy, at first, I didn't really believe in him. I thought he was going to be good, but
I thought he was just going to be a high flyer, Pride. I thought he was just going to be that.
He was my rookie of the year, basically. I had him for rookie of the year.
Listen, Bishop, I was with you. I thought he was going to be like a solid player who everyone's going to Google Gaga off because he jumps high. You know what I mean? That's what I thought. But, yo, this kid is like,
he's
not
legit.
only you can make the case he's single-handedly carrying, literally carrying the Grizzlies.
He's why they made a playoff team.
I mean, right? Legit, that's the thing. Without him, not only are they not a playoff team, but on top of that, individually, he's becoming a guy that you can just pick him up and drop him anywhere, and he will fit and give you production. That's how he's starting to become, and that's how you become a top player in this league, where I can just pick you up and I can put you on any team, and you will mold and fit in perfectly. So, bro, John Morant is definitely becoming not a problem. He's becoming a medical condition.
Medication
is
bro. He's not the problem. He's becoming the solution, bro.
Yeah,
yes, the solution.
He's definitely coming to solution. Absolutely. So let's get through the rest of these games here. Even though that Dallas ended up beating the New Orleans Pelicans 108-92. Luka had 25. Valanciunas had 22. Then you had the Miami Heat in the Denver Nuggets. Denver wins 113-96. Jokic had 25. Jimmy Butler had 31. And just like Pisher was just talking about, the Atlanta Hawks at Golden State. Golden State won 127-113. My MVP that I said on Real Talk, Steph Curry with the big 5-0. Yeah, we're going to talk about that too. Trae Young, of course, he's going to put up them 28 points. That's just what Trae Young does in this league. But the Phoenix Suns beat the Sacramento Kings 109-104. Cameron Payne had 24. Harrison Barnes, the last couple of games, been going into double figures with 26 and 29 the night before. And then, of course, we just talked about the Charlotte and Lakers game, 126-123. Anthony Davis with 32. Terry Rozier with 29. But I know Bishop wanted to talk about this before we go into NFL. Steph Curry with the 30. I mean, the 50. The 50.
50 piece.
3 rebounds. 3 rebounds from a triple-double.
Before I say anything, Clint Capella, I'm going to call you out because I did a parlay that was going to get me to 1K, and you were supposed to get 12 rebounds. Everything else went right, but you only getting 6. You pissed me off there.
Jesus Christ. I mean, like I say, man. I mean, Steph Curry is no doubt the greatest shooter of all time in the NBA.
Thank you,
man. But this guy, if you look at it, this guy just cannot just shoot. This guy can create his own shot. He can get to the basket. He's got one of the best dribbling ball handlers in the NBA. He's also an underrated passer. This guy can pass his ass off as well. And if you see every time he goes to the basket, he shoots a little floater. And you can see when he beats people to the basket, anytime he beats a big man to the basket, you can see him shield a big man with his body and can able to make a circus layup. So it's multiple things that Steph Curry can pretty much do it all. He competes, even though he's not a great defender, he competes on that defensive side of the basketball. Nobody gives him credit for competing, but I just had to throw that out there. This guy is a first ballot Hall of Famer. This guy's the greatest shooter of all time in the NBA, hands down, man. This guy's the MVP right now of the league, man. To put up 50 and almost a triple-double. He's been doing that all season long, man. That's been on a consistent basis. That's been on a consistent basis. So Steph Curry, I just gotta get credit. Steph Curry is the greatest shooter of all time. That's no way in down.
With that coach being said, now with Steph doing what he normally do, when the other half of the Splash Brothers come back, do you have them favorites coming out the West?
I don't know. I just gotta see. I think they're gonna be up there. But I wouldn't say.
Hold on. Let's say this. I'll tell you. Let's just say the other Splash Brother comes back as the normal Splash.
Yeah, brother. That's what I was getting to. If he comes back normal,
say his name. Say his name, Bishop.
Klay Thompson. Klay Thompson, obvious. If he comes back,
we know what they are.
If he comes back his old self, even though it's going to take him some time, I don't expect him to come back his old self. I expect him to get out there and find some time and get a little bit of rhythm and get back to that same point. But if he comes back his old self, not loss of anything, the Warriors, they got an opportunity because don't forget how the Warriors was when a healthy Klay Thompson. They were championship every year, even without Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant just made the team more unstoppable and impossible.
He was just a good talent.
Yeah, it was just a good talent, and they just.
Well, Kevin Durant made them was unbeatable.
Unstoppable and more unbeatable. He just made them more unbeatable and unstoppable to beat, and everybody knew. It's rarely when you go into a season, the Warriors win a champion. The Warriors going to win this championship. That was obvious. Everybody knew that. But if Klay Thompson come back his old self, that 20-point per game score, that 3-and-D player, and one of the greatest shooters of all time, top 5 shooters of all time, they definitely have a chance of contend in the Western Conference. Even with that against that Lakers team, they may even beat the Lakers with Klay Thompson, his old self.
And they may even beat the Lakers. I want to know if the Lakers, if with the panel, with everybody on here, Klay Thompson comes back to play from the Klay Thompson to old, do the Warriors beat the Lakers coming out the West?
I'm
everybody.
I can say this. It's really going to come down to the role players for both teams? Who's going to be able to step up outside of the stars?
Yes.
Because right now Jordan Poole is looking good.
I'm not pulling him. I ain't gonna lie. I can't pull him out the lineup. If Klay Thompson will come back, I can't do that. I can't pull him.
Keep all three of them in there with the Draymond, and we got to see who's going to be that power forward as well. So it really depends on that rotation. Who's going to come off the bench and who's really going to? We already know with Carmelo as a sixth man, but after Carmelo and that sixth man, what can the rest of that roster for the Lakers do against the bench for the Warriors? So it just really comes down to role players for me.
And I get it, but I'm gonna tell you this right now. Even if Klay comes back at 80%, hell, 75%, this Warriors team, if you don't want to call them favorites, that's fine. They at the bare minimum, need to be in the conversation.
Yeah.
And I'm talking about just at 80%. Like that's just at 80%. Because again, not only is that because the thing that people are kind of ignoring is like Steph Curry's balling excuse my French, he's balling the fuck out for no reason whatsoever. There's no reason whatsoever. No reason he should be balling it. But it's almost as if he's trying to be like, bro, y'all thought we was gonna lose without Klay? Oh yeah, watch this. And now he's balling like crazy. He's got Jordan Poole, who's like kind of, like you said, he's looking good. He's looking real good. Andrew Wiggins, he's a solid guy. He's not gonna he's
dropping 16 tonight. Yes.
Yeah, he'll be solid. So my thing is, when you put Klay in here
and throw
there's really no pressure
because he's meant to be a warrior.
Exactly. So if not, and then you got Andre, you got a whole bunch of guys. So when you put Klay back in here, there's no pressure. It's more like, yo, Klay, ease your way back into it.
Take your time. Take
your time. You don't gotta come back and be the Splash Brother again, bro. You know what I mean? Come back, relax, work, rework your stuff. I wouldn't be surprised if his first game he doesn't shoot anything but wide open shots, just for him to get a little more comfortable on that floor.
Right.
And then I'm telling you this right now, within a week, that stroke he got, ain't no way he gonna lose that. I understand, the two injuries. My concern more is on the defensive end.
Yeah.
Even then, I think that team will be able to, help him out a little bit. I do expect Steph to, because again, Steph's not locked out. He's not a lockdown defender. But I do expect him to try to step up a little bit more to help Klay out a little bit. Again, if you really look at this team, they're not bad defensively. They're not.
No.
So, you put Klay back in here and 80% Klay, I'm telling you right now, man, not just the Lakers, everyone. They need to be nervous because this is the same. Like they got the same components. They're four guys, the Compton Four, they want to call them, whatever. Those are the same dudes who went 73-9.
Facts.
Yeah. Right. They lost in the finals. But at the end of the day, they went 73-9. They didn't need KD.
Yeah.
KD.
They didn't. Nope.
You know what I mean? So,
nope.
Looking at this team, with Klay comes back just 80%, it's going to be a problem.
Yep.
Absolutely. So let's get into the Monday Night Football game. We were supposed to talk about that first, but we wanted to get the NBA out first. Pittsburgh Steelers end up beating the Chicago Bears 29-27, and a lot of questionable calls, a lot of crucial calls that lost this game for the Chicago Bears that went in the Pittsburgh Steelers' way. Ben Roethlisberger, with Justin Fields, he was 17-29, 291, one interception, one touchdown, 3 sacks. Ben Roethlisberger, 21 of 30, 205, 2 touchdowns, sacked 4 times. David Montgomery, 13 carries for 63 yards on his debut back from being off the IR. Najee Harris, 22 carries, 62 yards, and a touchdown.
Shout out to Najee Harris, by the way. GG got your fantasy.
Yeah, shout out to Najee Harris. And really, wide receivers didn't really do too much. The leading receiver for Chicago was Cole Kmet with 6 receptions for 87 yards. And Deontay Johnson was 5 receptions for 56 yards. So my question about this game: did the Bears lose it, or did the Steelers win it?
I think the Bears lost it. I think actually, because if you go back and look at those 3 offsides penalties, but me and Coach Spotlight talked about that last night. Mm-hmm. How do you get paid all that money and you consistently not know where to line up at? That is 3 times in a row, especially on the final possession when they kick the field goal, you lined up outsides twice on that same drive, the same legit drive.
That's bad.
And I say the referees played a big part of it too.
Yeah,
I thought that was a bogus
Yeah,
I thought that was a bogus taunting penalty. That was a bogus taunt. Huh?
No, we're going to get into that. We're going to get into that.
No.
Not
only that though, but I know. And listen to it. I know everybody say, "Oh, you can't blame the refs. You can't blame the refs. Oh, the refs do their job. They can't see everything. This and that and the other." I get all of that, man. I officiate games myself. I get it. We ain't gonna make all the right calls. But at the same token, man, that one time, the one drive when Chicago was like on the 1 yard line, and they called that bogus call that pushed them back to like the 20 yard line when they probably could have scored. Instead, they had to settle for 3. They not protected. They definitely not protecting Justin Fields like they.
Yeah, I was going to get into all of that because that should have been a personal foul when he was running out of bounds and he got hit on the side of the head. That should have been actually called. But again,
2-step hit when he took after he threw the ball. It was 2 steps that defender took, and he clearly laid Justin Fields out. That should have been an automatic penalty that they didn't call. Like people don't understand, the zebras do play a huge role in a lot of the factors in some of these games, man. You can't deny the fact. And in that game last night, I understand your question, Spotlight, in regards to who won the game and who lost the game, but the zebras played a huge role in that game and and the outcome of that game. I just have to say that, man. It is what it is.
But also, I mean, the Bears did not help themselves with those
True.
outside penalties as well. I mean, Robert Quinn lined up 3 straight times outsides with his hand outside the line. I mean, again, referees played a horrible did a horrible bogus penalty. I mean, the guy just looked at the sideline, didn't say nothing. You're not allowed to. How can you not allowed to do that? The man didn't even say a word. I know it wasn't the bump because the referee was getting his flag out already. So that was bogus. That should never be called. That was bogus.
Video, though, he had his hand on the flag already right before.
But the referee bumped him, though, Spotlight.
No, but that wasn't why the flag was thrown.
Yeah, I know. I know that wasn't the fact of why the flag was thrown. But the fact of the matter that the ref stuck his butt out to ensure contact. Come on, man. Like he said, like Cassius said, if it was the other way around, they probably would have ejected him.
So we got
ejected Cassius.
And I saw that clip, bro. When you think about it, like, ain't no way you can blame Homeboy for that. Ain't no way.
No. That was bogus. That should have been. That wasn't the. Go ahead, Trey. My bad.
So it's 2 different things of what you're talking about. One is completely different from the other. So of course, with the referee, you did have a situation in which the referee did do something which he should have, which is inappropriate. Because just as we say, we've seen it plenty times before, even in the most egregious ways. A player touches an official accidentally or like talks to him, put his hands on his shoulder to speak to him, which is sometimes normal. It's a flag and the player gets ejected. Now, in the case of with Cassius, when he did technically he did taunt. He did his celebratory dance, which he does all the time. And then he dapped up, talked to his man. They sit up and had coffee and all that type of, and celebrate. Then he turned around and walked towards the sideline. Staring at the sideline of the Pittsburgh Steelers sideline, their bench. That's taunting. So that's what he got hit with. Now it was completely out of. Go ahead.
But I just hate the rule in itself. It takes the fun out of the game. Players don't want to play football because you can't talk smack. It's not. It's just a bad rule that they decided to put in.
So let's play. He's not even talking though. He's not even talking. He was just looking at the sideline.
Hear me out. We've seen a lot of teams this year. We've seen a lot of teams this year put the no or do something in front of their sideline that did not get flag, but now it happens because Pittsburgh is undefeated on Monday Night Football. They throw the flag. I'm not going
to say that, but y'all have to take in consideration everyone does a different judging. Just like as we sit here and talk, we have our ways in which how we perceive something. Yeah. In this particular case, the referee perceived it as taunting. In this particular case, based on when you look at the video, I agree with him. So let me Picasso something for y'all. So right quick. So take in consideration when Terrell, watch this. Wordplay, bars. But okay, so check this out. So think about it, right? Let's take a consideration when T.O. went and planted the ball on the Dallas Cowboys 50-yard line, right? Mm-hmm. So what happened next? Emmitt Smith got his touchdown. What did he go do? He went back and planted the ball on the 50-yard line. So what happened after that? T.O. went and got another touchdown. And they got to go back the ball. He got mollywopped, and it caused in a brawl, not a complete brawl, but basically a scruff ensued. So this is the reason why we have the taunting. It's just a little late, but when you take in consideration as players continue to go through the game, one tries to one up another. And then this is what
that's doing a touchdown. We're talking about
taunting is taunting.
Like say if a wide receiver and a cornerback talking to each other, just talking smack to each other, just face to face. We can't even do that. That's why I mean the NFL is soft. It's certain things that can be taught and some things that can't be taught. We can't even talk smack. Period. Yeah. We can't say nothing. That's what makes the taunting call so soft. I understand your reasoning with the T.O. and Emmitt Smith thing because that's after the touchdown. But during plays within the field of play, talking smack should be allowed.
No, but here's the thing. I'm gonna tell you this. I'm gonna be like this real quick, Pride. Let me say this real quick. The reason why I say talking smack shouldn't be allowed because, and I don't totally agree with the talking smack part. Now, in regards of if somebody's looking or making them, doing their signature.
This dude talks a lot of smack when he's on the field. Keep that in mind.
But talking smack on the field can result in a fight. Things of that nature. It can result in a whole lot of things because of the fact of the wordplay.
But we hear these guys mic'd up too, and they say if they going out to run their route or they going up to set up on offense, and they're like, oh, I'm about to get you here, I'm about to get you there, I'm about to do this, I'm about to run this on you and run that. Oh yeah, I'm about to kick you off, stuff like that. But that stuff like that in the NFL, that would get a flag. But that's all I'm saying.
I get it. My thing when it comes down to like the whole taunting thing, what I don't like about the rule, there's nothing definite. It's based on your interpretation, and I don't like that because if I'm a receiver, I'm out a corner, I'm gonna call that corner trash.
And we all know whatchamacall used to do that all the time. What's his Ocho? Ocho.
Hey, even Ramsey, yes. Talk noise all the time to his opponent.
Specifically so he can chat. So my thing is I don't mind the trash talking.
It's psychological.
It's not stopping the game.
It's a psychological.
But my thing is, I don't mind it if it's not stopping the game. You know what I mean? Like if guys are like now kind of looking at each other and now they're talking more where the game is stopping. Okay, I get it. If you're the rep, go say something, give them a warning, be like, "Yo, if y'all keep it up, I'm gonna have to." But my thing is, it gets to a point where like we like the players they always talk about loving the game, right? And it's like, in order to love the game, when you love anything, you need to show something. And I know as men, it's hard for us to do. We need to show emotion. When you love something, you show emotion, regardless of how it's shown. You just show emotion. So my thing is, why are we now going to penalize guys for? And I understand the rules are rules, and I get that. But
you taking so much fun up out of that mud like that.
Make sense.
There's just certain things just doesn't need to be flagged because say if a defensive player is just talking to a quarterback and not trash talking him, the ref's going to think that he's trash talking him and throw a flag.
Exactly. Like if Aaron Donald
consideration of it.
Right, like if Aaron Donald right now if they play Tampa and he sacks Tom Brady, he's just gonna get up and be quiet. No, he's gonna say, "Gotcha, Tom." That's what he's gonna say. That's what guys do.
But again, it comes down. It comes down to this.
We've all hold on 1 second, Trey. We've all seen that video where not too recently. I mean recently in regards to Cam Newton. The defensive players say, "Oh man, they about to run this screen. Why about to run this screen?"
Oh, he said, Clay Matthews like that wheel route. He said, "Oh yeah, watch this." And he got rid of TD. Yep.
Right. So I mean, there's ways to do it where they don't have to, like, and I totally agree. I totally agree with Pride. It's so subjective about the individual. It's all about the official. It's about how the official, and it's crazy because there is no guideline on what is considered so-called trash or taunting. You know what I'm saying? I'm sure it is a guideline, but the guideline is so vague and so like it's on your own discretion as an official. on what you're going to call or what you're going to pull your flag for. You know what I'm saying? When it comes to taunting. And I feel like, to me, I feel like let these guys play, man. These guys they're passionate about the game. They want to, like Pride said, when it comes to citing Tom Brady, that's a big feat because everybody can't get to Tom Brady, bro. It's a huge feat for some people.
But I bet you if Tom Brady starts talking smack to the defense, I bet you he won't get flagged. I bet you that.
But that's just the quarterback. Period. That's just the quarterback. Period. Like,
you've never seen a quarterback get flagged for.
I mean, this guy last night.
Even though it's a quarterback and if it's an NFL rule, you got to keep the same energy with everybody. You just can't.
I'm there with you. My only thing is, at the end of the day, that I feel like this should be the rule. This is what I think the rule should be, and it would solve a lot. Players can say what they want as long as it does not go and impede the speed of the game.
Like provoking a fight or something.
Right, for instance, like a few years ago, you guys probably remember this, when Cortland Finnegan got his.
Yeah, I remember that. I was watching that game.
Right,
Cortland Finnegan was mad because he was getting beat down.
He was getting beat down, and all of a sudden he tried to do it. He was like, right? But there was a build-up to that. There was a build-up, right? And it kind of was like they kind of kept going. That's kind of, as the ref, you got to go up to them and say, knock it off, and then if they continue, then you throw that flag. But my thing is,
he does.
If I'm not mistaken, they did. It's not like they were arguing to stop, to pause. They really was. So it's kind of like if a dude is just chatting to chat, like if you go play basketball, you go play pickup right now. You make a 3-point shot, you get called trash by somebody. That's just how it goes. Like there's a thing with it. So my thing is, if you should be able to, to talk your talk, have fun, but as long as it's not impeding the game, as long as it's not, the refs have to tell you every 2 minutes, knock it off. As long as it's not that, talk, because 9 times out of 10, they're not talking about each other's family. They're not talking to each other personally. Jalen Ramsey's going to come at you and say, bro, you sorry at the game of football. Like, you know what I mean? Like, they're not really trying to be that.
And I think that's what Pride, what Pride said. I think as long as it doesn't get personal, like real personal, I feel like they should let it be. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna talk. It's about getting, like Trey said, it's about getting in another person's head. It's about getting in his head. If you can take them off their game by getting in their head, you won half the battle, bro. That everybody knows.
Sherman used to do it all the time.
You can say that, Doug. It's a mental game, bro. It's a mental game. People don't realize. Everybody think it's all physical. No, don't forget about the mental aspect of this game, bro.
And the mental aspect doesn't just go to the quarterbacks. It everybody, because I guarantee you.
I mean,
I'm telling you right now, the most foul-mouthed players, you know who they are? Those defensive and offensive linemen, because you can't get a ref in there. You can't get a ref in there. So in terms of the talent, like, that's kind of my thing. Like, it's kind of tough. But look, at the end of the day, bro, if the refs have a problem with it, at the bare minimum, just go to them before and say, hey guys, if you talk, we're throwing a flag. Because that's kind of what it's starting to get to.
But this is the thing, Pride. At the beginning of the game, when they do the coin toss, you can set the perimeter or the parameters of what can be tolerated in this game. Look, guys, that's why during the coin toss, you put out everything. You put out everything and you say, look, guys, this is what we're going to tolerate as the officials tonight. If you go beyond this, hey, the flag will be thrown. And you let that be known up front. That gives an opportunity to know what they can and can't do.
Right, and that might actually help because instead of changing the rule, you now have the ref going to perimeter saying, all right, look, listen, let's keep it peaceful. When y'all celebrate, we'll give y'all 10 seconds, free reign, do whatever. Just don't go to their sideline, stay in the end zone, don't do anything obscene, whatever. If they did stuff like that, I think it would be fine. But the fact that not a lot of officials kind of go to the teams and tell them this is what I think is taunting and this is what I think is not taunting. So it's kind of like they got to hope and just, I'm going to do what I usually do. And I just got to hope and pray that I don't get a flag. Like, that's kind of where it's coming to. And,
I think on the taunting thing, it's subjective. Every ref has their own perspective on what taunting is. Every ref has their own line that they draw to where you're going over that line. And, like Sander just said out there in the comments, CD was fine for waving by. If you ask me, that should be a part of a dance. That should be like a dance.
That's BS.
You know what I mean? That's it's the same thing as a guy.
Bias, I tell you.
You know,
no, because even when Tyreek Hill does it, but the thing about it is, I think it really comes down to who the player is doing it to.
Are you directing it at a person?
Because Tyreek Hill does it and doesn't get fined, but then CeeDee Lamb does it, he gets fined.
So Tyreek Hill does get fined.
For me, it comes down to the player and who's doing it.
So Tyreek Hill does get fined. You got to remember, he gets fined. Hence the reason why he came up with the idea of putting the deuces on his glove and just holding his glove up to circumvent and get around it. So like everyone's saying, they have the same argument. It comes down to the perspective of the official. That official perception was that CeeDee Lamb was taunting, in which you have to keep it real. At the end of the day, you know the reason for or for not doing something which you done. In that case, he got caught. The referee perception was that Cassius was taunting last night, in which, in my opinion, he got caught for it. It comes down subjective. Ideally, you don't want to get caught in these particular times at the most inappropriate time, in which for Chicago last night, it was crucial. Not to say that it completely cost the game, because they did have 3 minutes left in the game in which they had but it did give Pittsburgh an opportunity to go down and extend their drive. So it just comes down
to the momentum, Trey.
It does.
That changed the momentum.
Chicago was still able to come back and get a touchdown. That's why I said Chicago beat themselves as well, because Chicago was able to come down and hold them to a field goal. So when you hold offense to a field goal, that's a win for the defense. So they was able to hold them to a field goal. Chicago comes back, gets a touchdown to go up 1. Then Chicago gets on defense. You have 2 outside penalties where Robert Quinn did not know where to line up at. You can clearly see his hands, outside the line every single time. He got called for 3 outside penalties. You get paid that much money, do not know where to line up at. Go ahead, Trey.
So I was about to say to that. So this is what my perception of that is. Robert Quinn probably has been doing that and just got caught with it though at those crucial times. You can't tell me that he just lined off offside 3 times in a row. I mean, so 2 times and got caught. No, he's probably been doing that with that extra advantage, leaning over and getting to beat his defender opponent, and got caught last night doing it.
But my thing is this though: if you get caught once, that means you don't do it again. If I'm
don't do it multiple times,
Hence the reason why I say
that's why I'm saying. But he got caught 3 times doing that. At
the same time, we just can't pinpoint Robert Quinn. But one reason why we're pinpointing Robert Quinn, because it was Monday Night Football. But we've seen this in the NFL all year from defensive linemen that lines up over the ball. This is something that you learn in Pop Warner. This is something that you learn in high school. You know where the line of scrimmage is. You know where the ball is at. Just move back. Period.
Yeah, because the thing is, and to Trey and Spotlight's point, like this ain't a rookie. It's a dude who's
it's a veteran.
Yeah, right. This is a dude who understands the game, and when you're down in the trenches, they always tell you get every little advantage you can. That's kind of to Trey's point. That's he probably has been doing that. Like you can make a case like most of his career. You can make that argument, but again with Spotlight. Once you get that first flag. In your mind, you gotta back off. You can't just go back to the same spot, because once they throw the flag on you, whether the player knows it or not, the refs are now watching you for the next 2 or 3 plays to see if you repeat the same thing. So now there's a second flag. Right. So now there's a second flag. Now, if at that point you think no refs are watching you the next play, you out your mind. I don't know what to tell you, bro. Like that's so wild.
And it happened. It just basically happened twice on the final drive of the game, though. That's resulted in that field goal.
That's why I feel bad for Justin Fields in this game, because Justin Fields, mind you, the Pittsburgh Steelers 20-6. They were 20-6, and they came back and almost won this game. But Justin Fields brought them back offensively. The Bears defense did not show up.
Did not show up.
I'm gonna tell you this right now.
And I just feel bad for Justin Fields, man.
You cannot blame Justin Fields for this loss.
No, not at all. Not at all. Absolutely not.
A lot of Bears fans are upset.
Absolutely not.
We're going to hear from the Chicago Bears fans.
I knew Mike was coming here. I knew Mike was coming. But Jay, I knew Jay had something to say.
He's going to have a whole time.
Real quick.
It's going to be a whole thing on the
real quick before you go, Mike, because it's good you coming in at this. So does that game kind of give us over that is Justin the right move? Because I feel like that was kind of his game where he zoned in, he was out there making plays. It wasn't just him. And the other thing too that I always look for with these young quarterbacks with legs is broken plays. A lot of their success in the beginning comes off of broken plays. So me seeing Justin yesterday going through his offense, looking through his progressions, and actually making plays within the offensive playbook was very good for me to see.
Yep.
And I think
so. I mean,
Mike,
was that the game?
I think Justin Fields and Mooney has a real good connection.
Yeah, I said that last night on the post. Yeah, they have a very good connection, man. Justin Fields made some plays. That throw to Allen Robinson, that was a dime right now. That was beautiful. That was a throw, man. And then that throw to the back of the end zone to Darnell Mooney, able to get his feet down. That was some big time football right there, man.
Right, absolutely.
Right there.
Because I think one of the biggest things that
go ahead, Jay.
No, my bad, Bishop.
No, go ahead.
Okay. I mean, one of the biggest things that I look for, with the Justin Herberts, the Justin Fields, the guys that are able to move around like that is,
No. So don't
I'm not gonna put Jordan on the list.
Because I was about to make a point to that, but I was like, I'm not going to do that. So I'm not going to do that. But there is a very valid point to be made in this and talk about Jordan Love. In which, let's keep it real. I speak the facts. So what's going on is when Justin Fields started out, he wasn't the person in which you're starting to see now, right? Because it took time. He needed to develop in the game. Same thing, which I was trying to make an argument for Jordan Love yesterday. He doesn't play.
Thank you, Mike.
You can't expect him to come in.
Thank you, Mike.
He can't do that.
But Trey does have a point. Like the only what Justin Fields needs to get better at. You don't get better. You only get better with experience. Like you get better actually playing. So yeah, he's gonna be tough. It's gonna be some tough spots for him. But me personally, I see improvements. You do see improvements.
I see a lot of improvements.
Look at Jay.
We're trying to compare.
But you got to look at the situation between Justin Fields and Jordan Love. Justin Fields don't have to sit behind Aaron Rodgers.
True.
Yes.
So we
already knew Justin Fields was going to come into this season starting for the Chicago Bears. We already knew that. But we knew that Jordan Love.
But is that a good thing for Justin?
The Packers moved up and got Jordan Love, but the Packers is not giving Jordan Love a chance. But at the same time, when you have the opportunity, you got to make the best of the opportunity.
But you have to look at it like this, and this is the way we see it here. Jordan Love has an opportunity to do something special. You have Devontae Adams. You have a coach that believes in you. You have Aaron Jones. You have a lot of great weapons on that offense. The difference with Justin Fields is that Nagy didn't want Fields out there because Nagy knows if he loses games with Fields, he loses his job. And so he basically set him up to fail. And here's my biggest thing for you guys, and you talked about it, and it bothers me about Allen Robinson as a player. I like Allen Robinson, but the reason Darnell Mooney has that connection with Justin Fields is because they said Matt Nagy gave Justin Fields 0 reps with the starters all preseason, all training camp. Right, correct. But after practice, Darnell Mooney was the only one to stay.
Allen out there with him.
Allen Robinson went on record to say that's Matt Nagy's fault for not letting me practice with Justin. No, you're wide receiver number 1. You want top dollar money. You should stay with Justin after practice the same way Darnell did. And that's why you look like shit all season is because
now Mike, I'm 50-50 on that because 100% I give you that, but you can't you can't take the trait. Hold on. You can't take the trait that Mooney has that's excellent to have and then fault Allen for not having it. That's not a teachable trait.
I'm not.
That's something that you either.
I'm faulting him for not staying in practice and learning that chemistry and having.
No, and that's my point. That's my point, though. No, and that's my point, though. And that trait that Mooney has is going to make him excel. It's going to make him special. It's going to make him go above and beyond, and it's going to make that connection with Justin Fields even better. Now, Allen Robinson is not. He's not now. As a fan, he should be doing that, but he's not required to. And that's the thing too. We got to understand.
Don't complain.
In the works,
don't complain when you don't get the ball.
Agreed. Agreed.
Yep.
100% on that part. Because that makes the worlds of difference. Now, but here's the thing
So I'm gonna be a troll right here. I'm gonna be a troll right here. So now what y'all said is about Allen Robinson. Are we saying the same thing about Odell with the Cleveland Browns?
Yep.
I've been saying we've been saying it. He complains when he don't get it. He complains when he don't get the ball. He definitely complains. He's not
complaining about not getting the ball. It's not being thrown to him. Odell has the right to say the same.
Yep.
Right, but here's the difference.
But at the same time,
about not getting the ball.
Say that again, Mike.
He's not. Allen's not complaining about getting the ball. Allen's complaining about winning and losing. The difference with Odell just didn't want to be in Cleveland, and I don't blame Odell for that. But
Allen Robinson don't want to be in Chicago. Let's be honest there.
Right,
but he's looking forward to it now.
He's looking at a rookie quarterback. Baker's been with Odell for 3 years now, going on 4.
Yep.
Yeah,
like not anymore, but like you have to look at it as how much time do you really need to get it to know that this is.
But at the same time, too, Allen Robinson really didn't have any good quarterbacks in his career either.
Right, but look at it.
And he hung in it. That's the whole point. Hey, say it again. But that's the whole point.
Blake Bortles, Mitchell Trubisky, Nick Foles, Andy Dalton, and a rookie quarterback in Justin Fields, and still has over 1,000 yards every season. Odell doesn't get a pass from me, bro. You don't.
You know, and to your point, Mike, the difference between Allen and Odell, Allen wasn't screaming and yelling and being this ultra, alpha when he was doing good. Odell was. As soon as Odell's plates changed and the situation changed, now Odell's screaming, it's you. He goes to another team. He has a quiet season. Then he has a hurt season. Now he's back. It's you. That's the problem with Odell. That's the problem. The cop out, the victimization, the point the finger. That's the Odell issue.
I could just see.
That's fair, Jay.
That's definitely fair, Jay. But I just feel like in the situation right now with Allen Robinson, knowing that he's not getting the money, he's not getting the money that he's getting. He's being franchise tag. I just don't think Allen Robinson would be a Chicago Bear next year. I just don't see it happening.
No, but to Damien's point, and that's the point I was making, Robinson and Odell are nothing alike. Odell is a diva in the media. Odell is a problem in the locker room. Odell attacks his quarterback and the leader of his team. Allen Robinson doesn't do that. We cannot do that.
No, I'm just saying, I was saying it as far as like not getting the ball thrown to him as in that comparison. I wasn't saying it as far as like
I
was just saying like throwing like not getting the ball thrown to because you don't have that connection with your quarterback. Odell didn't have a connection with Baker. Allen is not having a connection with Justin Fields. So it's just like in that same scenario.
Agreed. Yep.
Okay, so we're going to get into. Oh, go ahead, Jay.
No, go ahead. We're moving into.
No, go ahead. We got time. Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say though, because I was gonna ask you guys as well. I mean, I know we kind of beat on it a little bit before I hopped on, but I feel like the new NFL is taking away from players being able to break out because those emotional turns and that momentum turn really puts players to use their second nature instincts, and it makes you just riled up to get into that form. And I think that we're seeing that removed, which is causing players to stay sort of in a shell. Since we're talking about Chicago, I look at a player like Cohen. That guy is an energy built guy. Even Tyreek, in Kansas City, those are energy built guys. So when you remove those type of things and you bottle that energy up, I think it takes away from the game itself. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Totally agree with you, Jay. I feel like that. I feel like that's the same way. Some players, you got to keep in mind. There's so many people out of all these players that are in the NFL. A lot of these players need things like that to help them, feel better about the game and how they're performing in the game. When they get those big plays, that helps their drive, man. That may help them make another sack or make a pick or do something real positive in the game to change the whole momentum of that game. And for these refs to take that away from them, I don't agree with it, man. I don't agree with it at all. It's just you're taking the fun out the game.
Imagine Deion Sanders not being able to backpedal.
Right.
Yeah.
Imagine Deion Sanders not being able to high step into the end zone after an interception.
Right.
Completely
his signature move. Yep.
Not
you get what I'm saying?
Nowhere the same. Nowhere the same.
Yes,
it's
nowhere the same.
It's a way of taunting. It's still a way of taunting, Trey.
In today's game, it is the way of taunting.
That is
in today's game. That's his
celebration
statement.
That celebration would be just like Cassius had he just did this roundhouse and that was it. He wouldn't have got flagged. Deion does his high step, he doesn't get flagged. The defense gets the interception and go down to the opposite field and do a dance. They don't get flagged. Like y'all have to really.
How's that not taunting?
But we're saying
I'm
not saying it's not
into the end zone.
I'm not saying that it's not. I get the reason behind it. I'm just saying that if you don't go too far to the left or right, you don't get flagged. That's what I'm saying.
The whole defense not going too
far.
What
Trey's trying to say, hold on,
when they get an interception.
Hold on, what Trey is
so
saying.
what y'all saying is y'all saying that the referees are taking the game away. They're not, because they're not flagging for everything. It's a parameter. There's a parameter that they're flagging for. You go outside the parameter, you get flagged.
You can't even touch a receiver within the 5 yards and it's still a flag. They don't know the difference between a pass interference, and they don't even know the difference between what's the catch and not a catch. When it comes to the NFL, they do not know the rules. These refs need to be in there on the offseason learning what the rules should be instead of doing it off of their conscience or what they think what it is. Period.
I mean, again, it all really depends. I mean, try to your Deion Sanders point. I mean, me personally, how I'm looking at it, is that taunting? I don't think so.
I don't.
But again, based on the rules that they have now, which is completely all subjective.
But he could do it. He would be able to. He would be able to.
No, don't get it twisted. I'm with you. Like, if he were to do it, I'm good. But the thing is,
let me ask you this though, Pride. Right. When Deion used to do, and this is for Jay too, because I know Jay is about to chime in with this, and this is for all of y'all. When Deion used to do his little 2-step into the end zone, did he do it looking into the end zone, or did he do it looking back at the players when he did it?
He did it basically going to the end zone. He didn't look at nobody. He didn't look at nobody.
He put the ball back going like this.
Thank you, Sanders.
I get where you're going, Bishop. Hold on, because this is what Trey is trying to. This is what Trey going to say, and this is what Bishop is arguing with. Is they're saying the same things. Trey is saying that the refs have lined it up to where as long as you don't sideline or look at your opponent, it's not taunting because you're not directing it at an individual. Now, to Bishop's point, in which my point was as well, Deion Sanders would deliberately blow you up with speed, turn around, and backpedal while you're running your fastest, trying to catch him, and say you can't do it.
That's taunting.
Or
that's what I'm saying.
He would do the skip hop. He would do the skip hop 10 yards away from the end zone, 10 yards, and skip hop himself into the end. Now, listen, I don't care what no one says. I loved it, and it should be still in the NFL.
I got another example too. Now, say when I know Doug, I know you don't want to hear this about the miracle in MetLife with the Eagles and Giants with Deshaun Jackson.
Yeah, when
Deshaun Jackson did it.
Yep.
When he turns back and fell into the end zone, is that considered taunting in today's game?
Bro, on a technicality, yes, because he turned around and looked at everyone. But my thing is,
I want to hear what Doug's take is.
Hill does it all the time. Tyreek Hill does it.
Yeah, Tyreek Hill does it.
And he started getting flagged for it. He started getting flagged for
it. To Trey's point, he was getting fined. That's why I think you brought it up. Yeah, that's why he put up the glove thing when he goes like that. Yeah. So now he can just run and just go like that. And even right, the thing is
even doing this is not considered taunting.
Because you got to look at the way the body's positioned. Again,
he used to get flagged. He used to get flagged. He used to get flagged for running to the end zone, and then the process run to the end zone, putting up the deuces. Whether he was pointing at somebody, whatever case like that, he started getting flagged for it. So that's why he went and put the deuce on his glove. And so when he runs now, he just holds his hands up. He's not putting up the gesture. He's just holding his hand up.
Right, and I just feel like the refs don't know what taunting really is.
And I'm with you here.
They don't have the actual ruling. And they just
no different from that one where the catch is.
They're doing it for their personal opinion.
That's a Dallas.
So let's keep in mind frame, right? They're not doing it. They're it's subjective because it's a regulation. So their perception or how they interpret the regulation is what they're doing it on. It's not on them. It's the NFL. All they're doing is enforcing what the NFL puts down on them based on their interpretation. Now, interpretation is subjective.
But that's the problem. That's the problem.
But that's the problem with the NFL because they don't know what a PI is. They don't know what
they didn't outline it. Correct.
This is why the NFL need to get these refs to get a better understanding of what the call is.
But Spotlight, I'll do you one better.
It starts with leadership.
I think the league needs to actually make the rules to the point where it can't be subjective. It can't be
no, that's the point. That's the point we're saying. It goes back to leadership. It goes back to leadership. If you're any type of business that you're doing, if there's problem with the way that they're perceiving or interpreting what you have written, and it's a rule that is going to be something big enough to change the outcome of something, you have to define it. You have to make it easily understandable by the masses. Very simple.
That's the thing I was saying, Jay, and Pride. That's why when you do the coin toss, you make it aware at the time of the coin toss. Look, guys, this is what we will tolerate. This is what we will not tolerate. Despite of what's in black and white, as being officials of that game, you have the opportunity right then and there during the coin toss to tell the captains.
That's a good idea.
And it's a good idea.
That's a good idea. But that doesn't work in real time though, because you don't know what's going to happen. It's a good idea. Yeah.
Because I was everything is situational.
With you having. But
the thing about it is, I kind of understand what Bishop is saying. If you tell them and they still do it, then that's when the player's fault at the end.
Right? Yes, 100%. Like my thing is, before you throw out any taunting flag, the first thing you should do, let's say you don't talk to them during the coin toss. If at any point they do something you consider taunting, you go, unless it's something like over the top where you gotta flag them. If it's something that's like straddling the line, you go to that player and say, "Yo, look, AB, that thing you got up and you did that crotch chop, you can't do that no more." Or yo, Aaron Rodgers, I understand you got a nice touchdown and all, but screaming in Aaron Donald's face, screaming touchdown, you can't do that. You know what I mean? Or yo, OBJ, I understand you're ecstatic about you're in a position you're happy with, but yo, you can't be looking at Jalen Ramsey and
what that does?
Marshawn Lynch did. You can't be doing like I feel like before, if you don't want to do it in the middle of or during the coin toss, fine. At least while the game is going, say, "Hey, yo, look, I'm just letting you know. This is what I call it. And if you do it again, you're going to get a flag. Because at the bare minimum, you're giving them the opportunity. Now, again, I think all this really comes down to the rule. Because if you got the rule and you say, "Hey, yo, look, these are the rules. You can't get personal, X, Y, Z, da-da-da-da," that's another thing. But since the rule is like very trippy, and on top, it depends on the ref. You see a lot of older refs, frankly, not care. Like, they be scrapping and they just be like, "Oh, my God, can you hurry up? Like, I just want to go home." Like,
that's real right there. And that's real right there, Pride, because a lot of refs, like I say, I officiate a lot of refs, they just be ready to go home. They don't want to deal with all that extra added. But I'm going to ask you this, like, Coach Dante, I know you can verify this. Being that you're a coach, just like myself, we know as coach, being you on the sideline as a coach, whether it's basketball, football, whatever, what Pride is saying is basically how many times coach has an official came, "Hey, coach, hey, I'm not flagging you." He doesn't throw the flag, but he comes to you and say, "Hey, if he does that again, I'm throwing the flag. I'm letting you know. I'm giving you that."
It's a warning.
Yeah, it's a warning. Like he does that all the time. Like, I coach 4, 5, and 6-year-olds, so it's certain things you cannot actually do on that level. Like if you're playing flag, you cannot arm guard the flag. You cannot like stiff arm. That's like stiff arming a player, and the ref will let you know that. The ref will actually let you know that you can't do that. Will give you a warning. Next time you do it, he's gonna call a flag. He's gonna throw the flag out on you. He's gonna take it back 15 yards. And some of the kids, they have a hard time. They taunt sometimes. They flip in the end zone as well. And the ref will come let me know, "Hey, coach, they cannot do that." So I want them to let them know, "Hey, we cannot do that." So, but that's being emotional. That's being excited of what you're doing, what you're doing as well in that moment. That's just a moment thing. And like it's taking a lot of fun out of the game of football. I mean, he didn't say nothing to the sideline. Nope. It's nothing wrong to me of just looking at just looking at a person and not saying nothing, and then turn your back and go to your sideline. I don't feel like that was nothing wrong with that. I mean, it's just like I can look at coach a certain way. I can look at coach with a goddamn mad face, but as long as I don't go towards him or say nothing to his face, or as long as I turn around and go back without anything said, none. It shouldn't matter. It shouldn't really even matter. So
see, this is the thing. Right. Keyshawn Johnson said the reason why he got the flag.
Hold up. I really want to hear from Doug's situation, knowing that he writes. He writes about the NFL and stuff of these rules and everything. I really want to hear your perspective. I know you heard everybody else's perspective. You've been quiet for a long time, but I do want to hear your side as well.
I mean, set them straight, Doug. Set them straight.
I mean, okay. So think about why we talk about this. So it was Cassius Marsh who got called for the penalty last night. Now, I think if it was Khalil Mack who did that, are they calling that penalty? I don't know.
Ooh,
but it was a guy who was basically elevated from the practice squad, who's been an NFL journeyman, who, granted, he didn't say anything, but he was kind of hovering towards the Pittsburgh sideline. And then, yes, that referee just definitely stuck his hip and rear end out a little too far.
Yeah.
Wanted his, I think he was itching for a reason to flag him. And I feel like, he nudged me, flag.
But the flag was coming out way before. The flag was coming out before
the flag was coming out. I think the bump was just that was the icing on the cake. That was the icing on the.
What I think
but Pride, hold on one second. But they're saying the reason, and this is coming from Keyshawn Johnson and everybody else too. They're saying the reason why he really got flagged, Cassius really got flagged, is the fact that he walked toward the Pittsburgh Steelers sideline. That's the whole thing. It wasn't just the stare. It was the fact that he walked 3 to 5 yards toward the Pittsburgh sideline. That's why they said the flag came out.
Correct.
That's why.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Pride.
I mean, I'll be honest. I think even if he doesn't walk, I think he still give. I don't know. Just like I'm watching it, and it's weird. Like you said, it's already coming out. It's almost as if even if he misses that hip bump, not only is he gonna throw the flag, but he's still gonna blame Cassius because he was too close. Like looking at it, it was like, again, maybe it's just me, but
just like you said. I mean, just like you said. Just what you said right now. Even if he didn't do the hip bump, the flag was coming out. Yes, that was right. The flag was coming out anyway. Even if he didn't do the hip check, the flag was already coming out because you could see the ref getting the flag out, getting the flag out. Already had his mind made up that he was gonna flag him. But again, I don't think if I was in that situation after the ref, I wouldn't have threw that flag. I mean, he didn't say any words. He just walked towards. He just looked. It ain't like he just walked over there completely to the sideline. He just walked 3 yards to the sideline and just turned back around. Didn't say not one word. It ain't just like he went over to the sideline.
Verbal and non-verbal gestures. In this case, he provided a non-verbal gesture, which was walking over to the sideline. Had he not walked over to the sideline, I don't foresee the flag coming out for that part.
The flag was coming out before he walked over to the sideline.
But the thing is, but hold on. So
how many times have we seen Aaron Rodgers look over to the sideline after throwing?
Right, like
and he doesn't get flagged.
That's what I'm saying.
That's why I said he doesn't get flagged. Like Aaron Rodgers doesn't discount double check when he gets a touchdown. What I'm saying is Cassius, when Marsh decided to walk towards the sideline, why doing that after he got the sack, after he did his celebratory celebration, move, after he stood up and talked to 3 or 4 other.
You feel like he done too much.
He did too much, and he turned around, then started walking towards it. Why? When it just was outside the parameters, as I was saying earlier. That's why he got flagged. Had he not walked towards the sideline, I think he could have even got away with turning around and just standing and taking a look for a second, then turn around, walking off. He wouldn't have got the flag because he started walking towards the sideline, which was completely necessity.
I just think certain days that get done in the NFL, they flag because it's the person or they just want to do like, oh, I'm gonna just mess this game up. That's just how I come off as, because even if just like with Jared Allen used to be in the NFL for the Minnesota Vikings, and he used to get a sack and get on one knee and do his little thing, I bet you in today's game that'll be considered taunting.
I wouldn't even be willing to go on record to say that had Marshall, instead of walking towards the sideline, walk towards the opposite end zone, he would have been safe.
And honestly, but again, that's kind of the thing where, like, even if he's walking to the sideline, it's like I understand your point, but
just imagine if he was walking towards the Bears sideline and he still bumped the ref. You still would have got a flag.
But not only that,
two different things.
Not only that, but my thing is, and again, I'm watching it, right? I'm watching it. This dude, even though he walked towards the sideline of the Steelers, is still, first and foremost, not even within spitting distance of them. That's still one. So it's not
Thank you. That's what I'm saying. Yes.
He still got playing room. And two, they were doing a substitution, and a player from the Steelers was literally going to go run around him. So it's like, if they would have had a problem, I think it's Harvin I'm looking at here, he would have leveled him. So it's like, you guys are saying, oh yeah, we want to try to prevent something, and it's like the guy they're subbing, he could have literally done like a shoulder check or a hip check or something. He went out of his way to go around Marsh, so it's kind of like they don't care. And then on top of that, again, you like the ref is acting like Marsh got up and then sprint to Coach Thomas.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. He had like he just got up and went toss directly all the way to the sideline, which he didn't do.
Yeah,
he did it, and he's just going like this. And mind you, right behind him was, I think, Smith, who's kind of like nudging him a little bit because he's kind of hyping him up, and he's still walking just normal. I didn't have a problem with it. That's just me.
I didn't really have it.
So we can say it's so many points in which I could make with it, but I know we run out of time. But I would just say, like, it's just subjective at the end of the day, and it's just going to be that we'll see more, is going to come about.
I mean, I totally agree with Doug in regards to say I would love to see if it was someone else. Being that this guy just came off the practice squad and came to the the starting lineup or whatever and got into the game, I do truly believe that I would have loved to see if it was someone else, if they'd have got that same exact call or that same exact flag.
And I just want to throw it out there. This is the third week in a row that Justin Fields put his team in position to win, and his defense has let him down.
And on top of that, and the crazy part about it is he had just gotten promoted from the practice squad. So because of that penalty, who knows? Maybe he's now in the doghouse and could potentially be brought back down. So it's kind of like, because he went back to the sidelines. I think it was the defensive coach was screaming in his face.
Yeah. I saw that.
He's like, what are you talking about? And you got players looking at him like, yo, relax. And he's kind of looking for an answer, like, what's going on? And it sucks. It's very subjective. I think at the end of the day, there's only really two ways you can solve it. Either the refs, while they see the thing happening, Bishop, coach, you guys have experienced it, they come to either the player or the coach and say, hey, yo, look, just letting you know, bro, 1-2 can't do that stuff, but 1-8 needs to knock it off.
And with that pride,
go to the book and change it.
Exactly what you just said. When he got done doing what he did and walking 3 yards toward the sideline, he walked right past the ref. The ref could have said right then and there, hey, guy,
chill out.
Don't do that again. Yeah. I'm going to throw the flag the next time you do that. That was the perfect time for the ref to sit there and tell him as he was walking by him, hey, guy, look, I need you. I know what you're trying to say, Trey.
I'm getting ready to say, I'm not going to say nothing because we got a time. I
want to get to the last topic. Because knowing that week 9 is definitely in the books now, we can get it going to week 10. It's some games that, I mean, y'all probably want to be looking forward to here.
Really.
I'm gonna just go through the slate real quickly, and then we just talk about the games that y'all like to see. Thursday night we do have Baltimore at Miami. We already know what that game's going to look like. I'm not going to make my prediction on that right now. You do have Atlanta at Dallas. You got New Orleans at Tennessee, Jacksonville at Indianapolis, Cleveland Browns at the New England Patriots, Buffalo at New York, Detroit at the Pittsburgh Steelers, Tampa Bay at Washington, Carolina at Arizona Cardinals, Minnesota Vikings versus the Los Angeles Chargers, Philadelphia Eagles at the Denver Broncos, Seattle Seahawks possibly Russell Wilson might be coming back because yesterday they did say that he was cleared against a possible Aaron Rodgers that might be coming back this week. We don't know yet either. And then Sunday Night Football, we have the Kansas City Chiefs at the Las Vegas Raiders. And then we have Monday Night Football, Los Angeles Rams versus San Francisco 49ers. What games are y'all looking for in this Week 10 matchups? Look like it's going to be some good games on this slate for Week 10.
The game that I'm interested in seeing after the win against New Orleans, I think I want to see Atlanta versus Dallas. Last year they played a real tight game.
Yeah.
If Atlanta did not, all 5 players on special teams did not decide to watch the football roll, and Dallas was able to pick it up and win the game, that Atlanta would by far won that game. But after coming off a great win in the Superdome against New Orleans, that will be an interesting football game. Can Dallas bounce back after the debacle against Denver? And are the Atlanta Falcons are serious? Are they a very good team? And that will be an interesting game. I would love to see in Jerry World. And the Atlanta Falcons do play Dallas tough. They do play Dallas tough, so I'm interested to see that game.
Yeah, I kind of like that. Like, I think Atlanta has a pretty solid chance.
Yeah, pretty solid chance. Yeah.
Because the thing is, in the beginning of the season, look, I didn't really give them props. Them being 4-4 is like, you know what I mean? That's the best. They're, like you said, coming off that win. I think they have that potential to win. So I'm kind of there with you. The game I'm gonna pick is the Titans and Saints.
That's a good one too.
I think it's gonna be a Titans offense that now kind of has to reinvent itself in a way, because you've always had Derrick Henry. Now there's no Derrick Henry. So now it's like there's a lot.
He did the same way for the Saints too, knowing that Drew Brees retired, and Michael Thomas is gone, and now you got Callaway there. Our commander,
Trevor Siemian
person left. So
that's it. That's really it.
I think it's for both teams as well.
Yeah, 100%. Oh yeah, 100%. Because again, so they don't know if they're gonna go with Trevor. I think they're leaning more with Trevor Siemian because they want to use. They kind of want to use. Yeah, they want to use Taysom Hill kind of in like the whole little thing that he's usually good at. Line him up at tight end one play, then running back, then receiver. They don't really want to handicap him, so they kind of want to use him. It's going to be interesting to see because if Trevor Siemian has a horrible game, they might have to say, all right, look, we at least got to see Taysom Hill at the minimum. So there's a lot of
you got to at least consider it because the Saints last year just lost one game with Taysom Hill. He wasn't all that bad, so you got to at least you got to at least look into the situation. If Trevor Siemian can't get the job done, you got to at least take that in consideration. Due that he lost one game against with New Orleans, they lost a one game to New Orleans. Now it's just to the Philadelphia Eagles. They lost that one game, so I definitely agree with you. You got to take that in consideration.
Right, 100%. And like I said, this will be a good test to see whether or not next week they go with Taysom or if they're going to roll with Trevor Siemian. It'll be a good test. And for the Titans, they're gonna have to basically look at Ryan Tannehill and say, "Look, man, you're gonna have to carry us. You have no choice because Derrick Henry's gone. So it's gonna be a very interesting game because I have some questions about both teams, and all the questions might not be answered, but I think we'll either A, get the answer, or B, at least the picture will start to clear up a little bit for the direction that both of these teams are gonna head. So for me, it's gonna be the Titans and Saints.
Yeah.
For me, it's a few games on this slate that I want. Dallas and Atlanta. I want to see what Dallas can do here. But another game that probably be a sleeper is the Cleveland Browns and the New England Patriots. Both teams have been playing really good the last couple. Well, the Browns had a good game last week, but the Patriots have the last couple of games has been playing really well as well. So I would like to see that game. That's a very underrated game. Of course, I'm gonna be biased for the Kansas City and Las Vegas Raiders game, due to the fact that it's an AFC West matchup. It's mostly every team in the AFC West has a winning record. Can Derek Carr bounce back from the debacle in New York? Especially is at home. What can the Raiders do, and can Kansas City, can they defense get better? So that's another one too. But I think we're really sleeping on Seattle and Green Bay.
We're not sleeping on them. I don't think we're sleeping on Scott.
I'm just saying, if Russell Wilson and Aaron Rodgers are
then
playing,
it's a different story. Yeah,
it's a different story.
Yeah,
but I think it's not being talked about because Russell Wilson's finger and Aaron Rodgers with the COVID thing is not making it look like it's a big game.
It's a big
but
game.
If those two guys are playing, and this game is in Green Bay,
it's a huge game.
Is the game of the week.
Yeah, without question. And that's what I was going to say. I was going to say, depending on those two quarterbacks, that's going to be the game of the week between the Seahawks and the Packers. I do agree with you, though. The Chiefs and the Raiders game, I am looking forward to that game because we know how the Chiefs are 32nd in defense. The Raiders just took a crucial loss this past weekend. So that is definitely going to be a good game. I totally agree about the Falcons and the Cowboys. But this is my thing, y'all. Do y'all feel like I have a question for y'all, and I know we short on time and stuff like that. But do y'all feel like do y'all think the Detroit Lions are going to go winless? Do y'all feel like y'all do?
There's a possibility.
Mind you, there were some games that the Detroit Lions were in. They only lost to the Vikings by 2. They only lost to
the Rams by 9.
By 9. They lost to
Baltimore by a 66-yard field goal.
So do you really think they will go winless for the rest of the season?
One reason why I said they go winless because they can't finish games. That's the only problem.
But they only
start. Like, come on, like let's. They've lost to a terrible. No offense to Dante, no offense to Bishop, but y'all lost to a terrible Philadelphia Eagles team. They made them look like the best team in the NFC. Like, come on.
Yeah. No, I mean, I definitely agree. I definitely agree with you. I can take that due to the loss against the Chargers. I mean,
if you look at all their games, they were down. They came back. When they came back, they just could not get over the hump. They got to find a way to finish, especially when they have the lead. They have to find a way to finish. But I don't see that happening right now.
Honestly, I give them a chance because last night I was talking with Nate about this on the Football Frenzy, and like. They five of the games they have. They played the Chargers twice, the Chiefs twice, and I think they play. I think the Raiders one more time. It was something like that. And
no, we talking about the Lions.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like the second half of the season is kind of tough, but they play the Vikings again, which I think they could win. I think there's potential because I don't know, like.
Minnesota is suspect.
You know what I mean? Yeah, and then Pittsburgh, they
got the Bears on week 12.
And then the Bears, I think those 3 teams would be their best chance of getting a win.
But this is the NFL too.
Right.
It could really be a trap and be a spoiler for a playoff.
That's what I'm saying. When it comes down to those type of teams,
I don't know what it is. It's like a
I'm telling you,
because teams is on the borderline and they trying to get in. Then you got one of those bad teams like, I'm gonna tell
y'all this right now. The last game they play is against the Packers. I think they could win that game if the seating is all set and they sit Aaron Rodgers,
they
rest Devontae Adams. If that's kind of the case, I do give them that chance to win that game, right? So I'm not gonna say never because listen. This week was bugging, bro.
It was.
Past week was bugging.
I definitely will be able to sit. I definitely know how that feels, bro.
My cousin's funny thing is my cousin's friend just won like $6,500 by picking all the underdogs this last week. He picked all underdogs last week and won $6,500.
Hey, I gotta say this. I 1,000% agree with Coach Spotlight. When you got a team that got nothing to lose. And you got nothing but people that's proven to want to be in this NFL and trying to make a roster for next year. And you're your team in a playoff hunt and thinking, and you're seeing this team and say, oh, we're going to go all over them. We're going to the playoffs. Hey, perfect example. Arizona Cardinals versus Minnesota Vikings. Minnesota needed that win to make the playoffs. You remember of a guy named Brian Poole that caught that touchdown at the last second on a 4th and 26 that knocked Minnesota out of the playoffs and basically put Green Bay in. And the Cardinals was the worst team in the NFL. And then the Vikings end up not going to the playoffs. The Packers end up going to the playoffs because of him. And at that time, it was a forced out rule.
I think the Vikings would have, if they would have won, they would have won the division. If I'm not
mistaken. They would have went to the playoffs. They would have went in the playoffs because the Vikings started out 5-0 that year. They started out 5-0. Yeah, that was with Dante Culpepper and all of those guys.
Yeah.
And then the last game of the season, the Cardinals shocked them because at the NFL at that point in time, it was a force-out rule at that time. So if the person caught it in bounds with 1 foot and you was forced out, that was still a touchdown. That was still a touchdown. And the Packers got into the playoffs just because of that. And Brian Poole was at the game, at the Packers game. They welcomed Brian Poole in that Packers game. And that's what Coach Spotlight, that's what brought it up to my attention. In the playoff scenario, them the type of teams you do not want to see. Them the type of team, they're going to come out and play much harder, and you're going to eventually overlook that team. And those are the type of teams you actually don't want to see.
Doug, I know your team is on a bye this week, but what games you're looking to sit back and relax off of a win against my Raiders? You know,
yeah.
What games you looking forward to this week?
Well, here's the thing. So yes, the Giants are on a bye, so there's a chance the Giants could actually move up without even playing a game. For instance, the Washington football team plays against the Buccaneers. Tampa should win that game. That would drop Washington down to 2-7. The Broncos play the Eagles in Denver. I think it's safe to say Denver should win the game, given the way Philadelphia has been struggling. That would drop Philadelphia to 3-7. And then the game we all talked about, the Atlanta Falcons and the Dallas Cowboys. Now, granted, even if Atlanta pulls off the upset and Dallas goes 6-3, the other two teams, because especially if Philadelphia goes to 3-7, the Giants are sitting there at 3-6. All of a sudden, we just went from being in last place for the longest time, and all of a sudden we're in second place in that division. And I looked at our second half of that schedule. You know what? Giants' schedule is not looking that bad. We got Philadelphia twice. We got the rematch against Washington. We got a rematch against Dallas. I mean, if the ball turns the right way a few times here and there, maybe we fight the Buccaneers. Who knows? Maybe the Dallas Cowboys start their perennial let's choke the rest of the season down the toilet. The Giants got a chance. So, yeah, this is Saquon Barkley is supposed to be coming back for the Buccaneer game. Andrew Thomas is supposed to be coming back. This is the time to get healthy. They picked the right time to have a bye, and they picked the right time to start playing decent football. So you never say never, and who knows? Maybe the Giants give the Cowboys a fight the second half of the year.
Yeah. Has everyone went, by the way, real quick? Has everyone
went? I think Trey has to go.
When everyone goes, I just want to say one thing real quick after everyone goes. But go ahead, Trey.
What games you looking forward to this week, man? What games you looking forward to, Trey?
I think Pittsburgh loses to and Detroit gets their first win.
Oh, okay.
I love that team.
I love that.
I just looked at the power rankings. And they got Pittsburgh at number 10, so I like that.
That's possible.
Yeah, that's
real possible. That's real possible.
Okay.
I'm not even mad at that pick. I'm really not.
I'm not mad at that pick. That's definitely a hot take right there.
That is.
It is, but it's
very doable.
It's hot. It's one of those perfect takes where it sounds crazy, but you're not really that far off. Yeah, because it is possible. So I just want to say one thing. QUIET. For those of you who do not know how to spell, that's how you spell the word quiet. I just want to throw that out there because we do have some people who spelling is not their strong suit. So I just want to throw that out there for. I'm gonna
just throw these power rankings out real quick. They got Pittsburgh at 10, Chargers at 9, Cowboys at 8, Green Bay at 7, Buffalo at 6, and your top 5 power rankings: Baltimore, Tennessee, the Rams, Buccaneers, and Arizona Cardinals. And that's according to Bleacher Report. How do y'all feel about that top 10?
I'm okay with it.
Sad. It's quiet.
I'm okay with it. I'm okay with it.
It's hard to argue with records.
I'll be honest.
In the top 5, honestly,
is there anyone y'all would switch out of that top 10?
I don't know about Tennessee being in the top five at this point. I wouldn't have Tennessee in the top 5.
I get it.
I picked the Rams on national TV.
My thing is, as long as they're in the top 7, I will start him.
Who would you put there, Trey?
Why wouldn't you put Tennessee? Even though I know Derrick Henry is out, but they still proved that they can win without him.
Yeah, but Tennessee wasn't. I didn't even see Tennessee as a top 5 team with Derrick Henry in, maybe 6 or 7.
Ooh.
So being real disrespectful.
I didn't hear him. What did he say?
He said the Titans won the top 5 team with Derrick Henry.
Oof.
Not the whole team.
Yeah, we just got some breaking news that Nick Chubb has tested positive for COVID, so he's going to be out this week.
So the Browns losing. Got it. Browns losing. Got it. What the hell?
I just got the notification.
Did he just play Sunday?
Yeah, it says the Cleveland Browns could be without one of the top players in Week 10. Running back Nick Chubb tested positive for COVID. According to Tom Pelissero of the NFL Network, Chubb is vaccinated, which means he will need 2 consecutive negative tests in order to be clear for Sunday's games versus the Patriots.
So there's a chance he could play.
It's a chance.
Okay.
It's all right. Today's only Tuesday.
But Trey still not have answered my question though.
Well, it's a question now.
Tennessee is not your top 5. Who are you replacing them with?
Give me the 10 again.
So the 10 was Pittsburgh. Let me go to. So 1 was Arizona, 2 was Tampa Bay, 3 was Rams, 4 was Tennessee, 5 was Baltimore, 6 was Buffalo, 7 was Green Bay, 8 was Dallas, 9 was the Chargers, and 10 was Pittsburgh.
I would even move Green Bay or Buffalo up. Because to me, it's similar. Like basically, all you have is 2 teams that took a L that basically would traverse backward. You had a team that probably should have took a L without when their top player they moved up.
Well, hold on, wait.
I had on Real Talk. I had the Packers in my top 5, but I have them at number 5.
Yeah,
I can believe that.
Real quick. Read that top 10 again.
The top 10 was Pittsburgh at 10. And then you have So you had Pittsburgh at 10. You had Chargers at 9, Dallas at 8. And then you have the Packers at 7, Buffalo 6, Baltimore 5, Tennessee 4, Rams 3, Bucks 2, and Cardinals 1.
In what world is Baltimore is Baltimore not in, but Pittsburgh is 10?
Baltimore is number 5.
They're number 5.
They're 5.
Oh, okay. I for a second that's what I was here because I could have sworn I did not hear them at all. Okay.
Yeah, Baltimore is 5.
Buffalo is Baltimore over Buffalo.
That too.
I mean, but for me, that's
good.
Yeah, for me, that's kind of
Baltimore.
Okay.
Looking in.
Okay, that's good.
For me,
I think that's right.
What do you think?
Long Buffalo not over Baltimore because they didn't even score a touchdown against Jacksonville.
After this week,
that was a major deal. But yeah, I agree. I'll take that.
I like that top 10.
But one team we're not really talking about is the Chargers. The Chargers are 5-3. They bounce back against Philadelphia. They are in a tough AFC West at 5-3 with my Raiders. I think out of the top 10, this is the most sleeper team in the top 10.
I agree.
Yep.
I mean, personally, I think maybe they'll be able to be moved up in a couple weeks. I mean, I feel like that's kind of low. But then when you listen to the other teams, I get it. But I don't know.
Yeah, because Dallas is right in front of them at 6-2. So it really is just, and then they in front of Pittsburgh, and Pittsburgh is 5-3 as well. So
yeah.
It's just
I love the spot Arizona in too. They had that quarterback out. They had Kyler Murray out. They had 2 of their receivers out. They had 2 of the receivers out, and they still beat San Francisco convincingly.
Blah blah blah.
They still beat them convincingly. I don't like that.
Trey don't like that.
Yeah, Trey didn't like that.
You don't like that at
The
all.
only thing I'm concerned with Arizona is D-Hop with his hamstring injury. Like,
yes,
that's a horrible injury to have.
Yeah, that's a horrible injury. Yeah.
That's my concern. I am concerned with Kyler Murray's ankle, but I feel like if you compare like the ankle with the hamstring,
that's worse. The hamstring
is
way worse.
So, if I'm an Arizona Cardinals fan, you got the win, but again, you might have to ride Colt McCoy for another week, and it's like, do you really feel comfortable doing that? And on top of that, Colt McCoy without D-Hop, which, again, personally, I'm not bringing D-Hop back until Kyler comes back. You know what I mean? Because ain't no point, and they got a couple games they could lose, so
one of those games might be Carolina if Carolina get they ish together. So that's who the Arizona Cardinals play this week. So there you have it, guys. That is the conclusion of ASAP in the morning. Another show in the books, ladies and gentlemen. I'm ready for the draft. I'm sorry, y'all. But it's all good. But any final words before we head out today, y'all?
Another great show, another great morning with all you fellas, man. Another great vibes. I mean, just happy to be a part of everything, man.
I just got one question.
I'm glad Pryor made it.
Bishop, don't be Freddie. Don't be the new Freddie, bro.
I'm nervous now.
No, Spotlight. I'm just asking. Now, when Freddie says I'm running for him, will you finally have my back?
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you.
I got you, Pride. I got you, Pride.
No, Dante, you low-key don't like me. You low-key don't like me.
Oh, God, nah, I got it, Pride. You know you
I got you, Pride, too. I got you.
Yeah, I got you, Pride. Nah, you'll let
Bishop, I'll see. You've been turning your back on me a little bit recently, so I'm just worried.
But it was definitely another great show that we had today on ASAP in the morning. Make sure y'all go follow ASAP Sports Network. Y'all see it at the bottom everywhere, Monday through Sunday, 24 hours a day on here. Check them out on YouTube, Facebook, Roku, Amazon, Twitter, Instagram, OnlyFans. Like, no, I'm only playing. I'm only playing. Hold on. I'm only playing. I'm only joking. But you can find us everywhere on social media platforms, even on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, everywhere. Same thing for the Spotlight Sports Network. You can see us on the same amount. Only thing is we're not on Roku and Amazon. Y'all got that realm. But our faces are still in there as well.
Are we
Make sure you go to ASAP. Huh?
Are we on Twitch yet?
Yes, you're on Twitch as well. So is the Spotlight Sports Network. Make sure y'all go to asapsportsnetwork.com. Check out the articles on there. Check out the merch that just dropped over there on ASAP Sports Network. And for the Spotlight Sports Network, go to spotlightsportsgear.com. 20% off on all merch on spotlightsportsgear.com. And another show, same time, same place tomorrow, 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, 9 a.m. Central. We'll be back for the NBA and some more NFL topics, even some other topics that come out as well. We'll talk about it in the chat. Thank y'all so much for being here. Pride, finally that you get here.
Let me hear.
Finally.
Look, man, I can't go on vacation. Matter of fact, you ain't going to see me for another week. Keep pushing me.
Let's go on vacation, bro. See, I didn't know that you was on vacation. It's all good.
But you're still making jokes out that you know. So now you're not innocent no more.
Let me hear it, Frat.
You already know.
Hey, Bishop, sorry to say this, but Saturday I got Oklahoma on my upset list against Baylor Saturday. So hey, man,
we can talk about that. We can talk about let that marinate. Let that marinate. At least Friday. Let that marinate till Friday at least, Coach. Let him stew on that for a second. Because he's gonna be pictured at him. He's gonna be looking at you. He's gonna be looking at you for the next 2 days, wondering like, I can't wait to hear why he got
the good, bro. I thought we
is good.
I know it's Veterans Week and Veterans Day is coming up, so I will let y'all take us out with the your final thoughts when it comes to the Veterans Week and Veterans Day.
Hey man, let me say this real quick, man. Yeah, we all know Veterans Day is on Thursday, November the 11th, man. Myself and Trey, man. For those that don't know, Trey is actually my frat brother. We are both a part of Psi Rho Phi Military Fraternity Incorporated in the building, man. And we're doing a huge walk for veterans on the 11th through the 13th. We have a 5K 3.2 mile walk on in between those 3 days to get that done. So if anybody's
to join us,
if y'all out there, man, all you got to do is show that you're walking that 5K or that 3.2 miles in support for veterans. So we definitely appreciate any of y'all that's able to do that. And y'all can even wear the ASAP or the Spotlight Sports shirt, whatever y'all want to do, man. Just come out and do the walk for the veterans, man, because we all know life is not free. You know what I'm saying? A lot of these veterans have paid the ultimate sacrifice. A lot of them have lost a lot of things. A lot of them going through, mental issues, all types of things, PTSD. everything underneath the sun, man. And we just wanted to show our support by going out here and doing this Veterans Walk on Thursday. So mad shouts to my frat man, Rofi, in the building.
Yes, sir. Hey, all I could do is say I completely second that motion. That's like touching the track after Eminem. You can't follow after that. Y'all just go out, support, love y'all. ASAP, all forces, all plays, all sports. Let's go.
Oh, we out here, y'all. See y'all tomorrow, same time, same place. ASAP in the morning. Peace.
Roll, fight! All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. 365, we making up plays. You talking the game, get you through the days. We're high in the court, the dime in the lane. Variety, topics, living the same. All presentation, sports information. In the airways, taking the nation. All sport, all plays, like working your faces. Grace at the field, so tie the laces. All sports, all plays.